Hello, everyone. Combat log today. How is everyone? Welcome back. Um, we have an interesting topic to discuss this evening, and well, today. It's this evening somewhere. Yes. But yeah. So welcome back, guys. Everything's as it should be right now. Things are getting a little weird. We're picking up some kind of weird anomaly, but you know, we'll see how that pans out. So welcome everyone. If you haven't hit like yet, hit like. Likes will defeat the Klingon Empire. Don't know if you guys are aware, but Starfleet's not doing so well, and we might only have like 6 months before we have to surrender. So, but likes are a great way to help out Starfleet, and an even better way to help out Starfleet is super chats. And hopefully you guys are excited because we're talking about a really cool episode tonight. Don't have the commander with me at the moment, but he's off. He's doing something. It's fine. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun talking about this episode. So we've got a bunch of super chats already, which I guess I should probably just start with. Yeah, I know the sensor readings. I know weird stuff's happening. It's fine. Thank you though. So Judge 1981 throws in an awesome $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Love this episode. Shows how Picard is a solid officer and the motivation on how he is a great captain in the alternative timeline. This is even better addressed in the episode Tapestry. Indeed. Olivia Julius is here, and she throws in $10 as well. If Picard would have given the Enterprise C his attack fertilizers, and the Enterprise C would have won the fight against the Romulans. Hashtag fertilizer power. Hashtag can't wait for the fertilizer show. Hashtag I'm annoying but adorable. Again, you spelled annoying wrong, so it was hard for me to decipher that. Olivia Julius again, $5. Above the registry, is that an observation deck on the sea? I would imagine so, yes. Philip A. Demick throws in $2. Enterprise, or best Enterprise captain equals Rachel Garrett. Fight me. Wow, that's odd. Dementia, $10. The Ambassador is one of the last times we see a circular saucer. It will be remembered as a beautiful ship. Yeah, the Ambassador is a great ship, actually. Tasha Yar is my favorite, says Dreamer out there. Throws in $2. This is one of my favorite episodes. Okay, we got some weird anomaly happening right now. Something's going on. Hold on a second here. Let me check the sensors. Wow. Is everything... What's going on?
That.
Commander? Is that you?
I mean, I'm a commander.
You're a commander. What? This is odd.
What's wrong with your uniform? That's the wrong sort of red.
No, this is right. This is good stuff. Yours looks unfinished. Just saying.
Not my choice.
Your ship's in rough shape there.
Yeah, that was not a good journey. I'll be honest. Been a long road getting from wrong show. Yeah, I'm in a bad way. I need some assistance from the great and almighty Captain Foley to regain some main power, because I'm not doing well right now. I'll be honest. This is not good.
Well, we got some damage repair teams helping you out over there.
Okay, but don't contaminate the timeline though. Let's not do that.
We'll try not to.
Okay.
I think they'll be restoring power in a moment.
Okay. Not the best though. Come on, beauty mode at least. Come on, send a better person.
Send a better person.
If you've not got chief engineer, come on.
Engineering, send over a responsible team this time.
Not Wesley.
Let's get
Not
that
Wesley.
fixed.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, we've got some power. We've got some power.
Power coming back.
Okay. I think. But you look a bit weird though.
I look weird. How so?
I
mean, I'm pretty handsome.
It's not weird. I'm used to it. You radiate the
No.
normal. No, you just. I don't know. Something's weird about you, but I can't tell what. And this is a very long bit, isn't it? I don't.
It's a very long bit. Yes.
How's
Let me
everyone
continue
doing?
with the super chats, though.
How's everyone doing?
Everyone is fine.
Oh.
Dreamer out there puts in $2. Tashiar is my favorite. This is one of my favorite episodes. I think I read that one already. 115 of you here, though. That is awesome to start. Let's hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. You can get 100 right away. That'd be awesome. And let's see. Jeff, I love this ship. Jacobs, $2. Now that's a quick 50. Love the ship and the episode a lot. So there you go. We already hit our 50, which is awesome.
And Donnie Pearson says, how fitting for a review on SA's Enterprise, Stuart and Samuel in different eras of staff uniforms. Yeah, it was intentional.
Backwards, though, considering our origin stories for Trekyards.
Well, yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, I could have been both, but you could only have been one, so.
Dan23 puts in $5, or £5, sorry. TNG Tactical Manual schematic of the ship shows citation area with dolphins. Intent forward. Comm announcement says Dr. Joshua Kim reports to citation ops. Yeah, it's not. Where is it here?
Citations ops.
Dr. Joshua Campbell. Dr. Josh Campbell report to citation ops though. So.
Cool. Or is that from this episode?
Yeah.
Ah.
As soon as things change over and you see Uhura in 10 forward.
Uhura?
Well, that's the wrong episode. That's another one I saw. Never mind. Guinan. Yeah, over the announcement it says Dr.
Well,
Josh Campbell to citation ops.
In wartime, the dolphins are the most important. One of the most important things.
Yes, they launch them out of torpedo tubes.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, guys. I'm already pretty warm in this. I'll be honest. This is a proper high-end one, so I'm proper high-end warm right now. Yeah, but I'll start sharing. Although now it's sad because I hope he'll go back and actually watch the start of this because that was, that was the cool bit. I mean, the whole thing's cool, but if you haven't seen it, go back and look again at the fun joke at the start.
Yes, and we'll mention it near the end as well, so people will go back.
Yes. Well, I have to go back somehow, don't I? If the bit has a part 2. We haven't thought that far ahead. I don't know what that even means. I'll start sharing. See you in a moment.
Yes. Now that your comms are operating, go and share this. Request some reinforcements. Hajalti Sigurdsson puts in 7,500 ISK. I don't know what that is, but thank you very much. This is for your theatrical performance. 10 out of 10. Wow. It was totally unscripted, unplanned until the last second, so I felt like I was kind of stumbling at the beginning, but thank you. We want to do something fun. Dementia throws in $10. I'd like to imagine the continuum running around screaming, "Oh Lord, the timeline is collapsing," and Q is crying in the corner. Yeah, guys, as you see, there's a lot of great people throwing in some fantastic super chats. You too can be a part of that and help out the channel, get your voice heard, your question answered, your comment read. We have to read out the super chat, so if you guys want something, if you want us to say something or have something you wanted to say about this episode, whether it's a little known fact that you don't think anybody else will know, or if you just have a question or something for us, please feel free to send in a super chat. It does help us and help the channel, and it's a great way to show your support. So if you can, please do so. There's also other ways, of course. You can head on over to trekyards.com and click the donate button, which is just PayPal. There is PayPal information down below. If you want to send us a PayPal, we'll read your comment or question from there directly from the email, and just let us know in the chat that you've done that, and we will take care of that. Also, there's other stuff down in the description of every video. For all of our videos, we've got some really cool things for you guys: Eagle Moss discounts and Teespring store. You can get some Trekyards merchandise. So yeah, if you can, please do check out those links, and let's work together to support the channel and have us continue to come into your living rooms every day like a bunch of creeps. TNG 2K7 throws in $10.
Oh, wow.
This is one of my all-time favorite episodes. I'm sure I'm not alone. By the way, nice uniforms and skit, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
And I know it's not at all important, but I'm actually wearing the correct red trousers, even though literally no one is going to see it. I was like, you know what? Of course I'm going to wear the bright trousers.
And no belts, which is good.
Yep, it's totally correct, even though there are belt loops. So, Stuart.
Oh, I'm not done.
Okie dokie.
I love this ship, Jacobs. $2, 108 in under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This is a 0.975 out of 10. A 0.975 out of 10 episode. Hashtag make Jeff pay.
That's
what
pretty low.
the hell? That's very low. I think that's wrong. I think he didn't do that right.
Okay.
Olivia Julius, $5. Happy belated birthday to our favorite Augment Commander. I'm just glad in 2020 we never have to worry about the brutal Commander Khan ever again. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Samuel left the white collar behind.
But that's because in the show they don't have them.
There ain't no white collar.
They're lacking the collar. And I noticed I have the wrong uniform. Their colors are complete black.
Yep.
They don't dip down.
We will talk
And I'm
about
wondering
that.
if they made all new uniforms for them, or if they just modified the collars and added the black on the sleeves.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I've thoughts. Thoughts on shop. Oh, 110 people, 117 likes. That is amazing. We've already got super chats to be brilliant. So excited.
Oh.
But thoughts, comments.
Mark Lawrence, $25.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Mark. I wish this was a two-parter or maybe even a three-parter. One of the best episodes of all Trek. Hope the commander had a great birthday.
It was good. Thank you.
Yes.
Family stuff.
So
Stuart, what are your overall thoughts of Season 3, episode, what is this? 15, so middle of the way pretty much. Season 3, Yes is Enterprise.
love it. One of the best episodes of Trek ever. It's definitely the upper echelon as far as one I would recommend to people to take a watch of, and definitely one of my favorites. Great seeing more than one Enterprise. Get to see an Ambassador class. Get to see the classic Monster Maroon return, or Magnificent Maroon if you prefer, even though it's not complete. And you get what's his name that plays Castile, who's not playing an asshole. He generally plays assholes in movies and stuff. Shooter McGavin, you know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yes, it's a fantastic. Plus the return of Tasha Yar.
Yes.
Whoopi's got some great stuff in this.
Yep.
I mean, it's a fantastic episode.
And
why
why
the bridge of the Enterprise team?
Yeah.
I love it. Sorry.
And why in particular for you, the little things? What particularly stands out? Well, you said some of them, but any other things that you think make it special for you specifically?
I just kind of said the bridge, the other Enterprise, seeing the Ambassador class was awesome. The Return of the Monster Maroons. I kind of went through them all just now.
Yeah.
Plus, we get to see the bridge of the Enterprise C, which is amazing. It's my favorite era of like bridge design. I love the movie era look, and so it's great to see.
So, do you remember earlier thinkings of this episode? Then, I mean, I'm sure this is just like this one you've watched more than most or lots. Do you have any earlier memories of this one? I mean, this is my first time watching it in HD, on a 4K screen with surround sound. So I saw different things because I'm seeing it. I've never seen it in HD. Is there anything that you sort of, compared to earlier versions, that maybe you like it more than earlier versions or less than earlier versions, or know anything, or see anything different over the years than earliest watchings?
No, I just noticed a lot more of the background elements, like on the bridge, seeing the different displays and stuff, which are very cool. And also the battle maps and stuff with the Picard and Guinan scenes. There's some cool stuff in the back and foreground in some cases there, which when I watch an episode quite a bit, I start focusing on the background stuff. Yeah. To kind of get a new feel for the episodes. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in this episode, which we'll point out as we go along, I'm sure. So.
Good stuff. Back to Super Chats.
Yes, we got Nancum.
Thank you.
$10.
Wow.
I can't watch live, but we'll catch up. I love the small details throughout the episode, like Picard coldly calling everyone by their rank. That shows the characters are different versions forged by war. Yeah, and Riker's a complete asshole. He just seems like a dick in this. Like he's had issues with the war, and it's made him a different person because he's not Riker. He's kind of an argumentative ass.
Well, they're definitely all different, and it's both subtle and obvious. You know?
Yeah.
Cool.
So cool. We're still gonna hold on to the bit. I'm gonna keep it dark here because I like it.
That's fine. Well, you're in the parallel universe, so you know.
Yeah. So I might have to wink out at the end.
It's true. So I just disappear and you do the whole extra by yourself.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, Zeraxis, $10.
Thank you.
Afternoon all. Can't stay for too long today, but figured I'd drop by and say hi. Also, recalling the episode as one of my favorites. Great example of a time travel episode that wraps itself up. 9 out of 10. So there we go. Thank you, Zeraxis. All right, let's begin.
No, you asked what do I think.
Oh,
that's why I was looking. I was like,
no, that's not how we do it in this universe.
In my era.
Okay, I'll make a concession because you're here. Fine. Let's get everybody's opinion. All right, go.
Oh yes, I know we're at a war, but everyone has an opinion.
This is wartime. I'm a captain. I have the last say. You're just a commander. You should be a lieutenant, by the way.
Well, yeah, but I'm leading officer of the Enterprise C or whatever the hell variation of something I am. So you know.
Okay, go for it. What did you think?
Yeah, it's good.
Good. All right,
yeah, I mean it's definitely a different experience watching this time round. I never noticed the uniform collar differences because, you know, again, a standard definition at a smaller screen, so that was really nice to see. This is one that could have, should have, would have been a movie. I mean, you know, almost, if it had been, it would have almost been like too obvious. You know, 2 Enterprises in a movie, which they almost did as well. Well, they did, but, you know. But, I mean, the amount of attention to detail in this episode is so much more than most, obviously, of the average. You know, everything has attention to detail. You can tell the money spent on this one is probably like 1 3/4 an average episode, or they saved, and you know, even having way more extras than you'd ever have normally, having so many more custom set pieces, you know, not seen again for years. There's so much, you know, stuff here that it does come together beautifully. That said, one thing I noticed in this time round, even though there was lots of set changes, they obviously didn't want to highlight them, as in focus on them. So there's way more close-ups than there is normally. Just close-up to close-up, very zoom lens stuff, especially in like briefing shot. There's no like big shot of the entire room. It's all very, very close, personal, claustrophobic shots that change the look. Because this director's, writer, everyone on the team made this episode feel, look, act, pace differently. Even to the way it's filmed is distinctly different. And so you put it all together and you just feel weird while watching it. In a good way. Just like weird. So real achievement. And this, you know, if you could win Emmys for this sort of thing, this would have been considered, you know. And it certainly puts more new Trek. Obviously, this is again an extreme example of high quality, but it's like this is how you make really interesting, informative, character-based, drama-based, you know.
Got
Thanks,
a few more chats. Fat Produce puts in $5.
Thank you.
The thing I'd change in this episode would be to have Worf's voice to be the Klingon commander attacking the Enterprise D towards the end. Actually, I was going to comment on that and say I'm glad they showed restraint and didn't have him be on the Klingon ships. I think that'd be too convenient, too contrived, and a little bit too silly. They included him in a good way in this episode.
Yes. Yep.
And I appreciate that. To have him be on a Klingon ship and even show up on screen.
The Klingon ship.
Yeah.
It's not even just it's the Klingon ship that's attacking them. It's like when he appears as the leader of the entire Mirror Universe Empire. It's like, really? Worf. Because he's a regular, you know.
I'm glad they showed restraint with that. It would have been too contrived.
Yeah, I can agree.
Fat Produce puts in $2.
Thank
the music in this episode was one of the very best.
I don't remember a lot of the music, I'll be honest.
I don't either.
Yeah, like the end bit and the start bit when it comes out, but the middle I don't really... And that's weird, actually. I think everything else was absorbing me so much. But yeah,
Olivia Julius, $5.
Thank you.
Are you disappointed that Worf wasn't one of the Klingon commanders that destroyed the Enterprise D? Absolutely 100% not. I think that would have been silly. Zaraxis, $2. In the Enterprise C era, everyone's a red shirt.
Boo. I've heard that joke before.
They're maroon shirts. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian Straight, $20.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome. You're hitting it out of the park tonight. 198 of you here, first of all. So everybody hit like. Let's get those likes up, and that's brilliant. So if you want super chat, feel free. Brian Straight, though. Fantastic, flawless episode. 10 out of 10 for the series and season. Great time travel mechanics. Great way to bring Tasha back and use of her pays off down the road.
Yep.
This episode is just great. Prune juice, a warrior's drink.
Brilliant.
Area 51 throws in $2 for 2 sharp-dressed men. We should dress up more often.
Yeah.
Matthew DeFreitas, $5. Ron Moore said that this episode's premise would have been Star Trek Generations if this episode had not been made. That would have been fantastic to see on the big screen.
Yeah. Although,
let's see here.
Although
$5. There was.
I was going to say, although a little bit bittersweet, because you would have had Star Trek 6, them finding peace, then Star Trek 7, them being at war. That wouldn't have, you know what I mean? That would have been a bit, really, guys? But I mean, also, if you had to start seeing them being very friendly and then go to not be friendly, that could have been fun. But yeah, I'm just pointing that
out. Fat Produce, $5.
Thank you.
There was tons of that TNG meaningful French horn in this episode.
Yeah.
Also, the maroon uniforms look better with the collar from the other films. Yes, we've maintained that all along.
I miss my collar, Stuart. I want it back. It doesn't look as good. And the belt, it all comes together. It doesn't look as good just like this. It doesn't look bad right now, but it doesn't suit me as well because it all comes together. So, Stuart, we start off with the beginning of a legacy, the prune juice, as they said, a warrior's drink. It's a clever, simple, effective scene. It allows Worf to have fun, be important, and hopefully, although I don't think it works that well, you feel his presence a lot to then notice his lack of presence. I don't think that necessarily. I think you do forget, because Troy's not in it at all. I never thought of it until 44 minutes in. So I think it kind of works, but it's just more a good scene, you know?
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't include her with him in the 10 forward and then have her just be gone for the rest.
Yeah.
That's actually very strange.
Yeah.
And I never noticed that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. But that said, no council on a warship. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Another little small detail.
Yeah. But no, the inclusion of him with the prune juice and talking about companionship and how human females are frail and, that I will never know. And Guinan just straight up calls him a coward, which he doesn't get offended by. He's merely concerned for the safety of his crewmates.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice scene, and it's definitely got enough Worf in it that plus the beginning where they looks over his shoulder and there's Worf, and then also there's Tasha.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then how it ends. It's just it's an important part of the episode. So Worf is perfect in this episode.
Yeah, and he gets to flex the acting. So he's not doing anything about shields at 10%. Everything is character. And it's the opposite to Tasha in the first season. They knew exactly how to use Worf and push him out of the boundary and have fun with it. Mm-hmm. And Fred, thank you for belated birthday. It could be for both of us as well. So thank you.
And Zaraxis, $5.
Thank you.
Oh man, now I'm sad we didn't see it on the big screen. And if we had, might have been the Probert ambassador class. I do like this ambassador though. Yeah, that's probably would have been a thing because they just didn't have the time to make such a complicated model, and Rick's design was just a lot more straightforward and simple. So that's why they went with that. So, which I'm glad they did because I like both of them, but I prefer Rick's.
Well, they are very different actually, even though they're the same thing. Anyway, and what this scene for the first time ever, all I kept thinking was Temporal Anomaly, my fan film, because it's a hole in space. They're at sublight. They're seeing it out of nowhere. They say everything except a temporal anomaly. It's always a temporal void, a temporal hole, a temporal fracture, anything but
distortions. Yeah.
Thank you. And all I kept thinking was, this is the setup to my film. And there's two people looking, and even the music to my original edit was very similar. I got kind of like weird. I don't know why. I guess the better sound system, or whatever. I was just like, this is I didn't get the idea from here, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
But at least they didn't say it's a hole in space. At least we didn't get that stupid line.
Picard asks, "Is it a wormhole?" And the response is yes and no.
Yes.
It's like a time displacement without a discernible event horizon.
Or edges.
No center.
Yep.
There's no center. There's no edge.
What is it?
Yeah. And that's when the ship comes through.
And I love the fact that we do get this nice big view of the bridge, just to really show it, put it in the short-term memory, because then it shifts.
Yep. We see a ship coming through, and whoop, and there's Tasha back. And I love this bridge. Love the lighting. Even in Bridge Crew, when the upper lighting goes blue, until they screwed it up with the update, where the rest of the bridge turns white when that happens. That's the best lighting. So yeah, I love the darker look.
Yes, you like your mood lighting.
I do. I very much do.
I like it as an achievement of cinematic difference. I mean, it wouldn't be a nice place to work, I don't think. You gotta squint at stuff and you can't see things well, and you know, it's less. That's the thing. It's not meant to be a comfortable looking bridge. But obviously we've got subtle details. Wesley now full rank, full ensign, full uniform, first time in uniform, different hairstyle too, much more professional. Looks older. Instantly adds 2 years to his look. Obviously, as you said, we had Tasha. Instantly, we're presented with, that's one of the best transitions, having the shoulder and the shoulder. Instantly, we see the new side uniform piece. Cool. Phaser. Okay, interesting. All the extras have these full belt pieces, very similar to like Mirror Universe vibe, but not quite, because this is their Mirror Universe episode without being. There's lots of little parallels. And just that, I mean, the shot between the two Picards just shows the excellent way. Same bridge, same set, different lighting, radically different feel, and they love their harsh shadows as a constant. They love having one side light lit, one side always a bit of shadow that you barely see. It's very, very effective and not as nice, but also better. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's better. Let's see. Andrew Sepp, $2. Worf would have been killed as a child in this time. Yeah. Well, I don't know necessarily. Olivia Julius, $5. So you're telling me that no one went to that spot in 100 plus years to investigate, memorialize the battleground, and accidentally goes back in time? That's not how it works. The only reason the anomaly formed was because there was a large volley of photon torpedoes that generated enough energy. Because at one point, Date even says it would take a large amount of energy to create something like this. So it's just a fluke of the battle.
Of the universe, yeah. And this is not Narendra 3. They're nowhere near. It's moved them in time and space.
Yeah.
This isn't the same. You know, that's why it's even more weird. It's like, you're from when and where?
Yeah.
That was a conceit I thought was a bit weak in this. I don't buy that a load of torpedoes could open a time rift. It's like, that's the best you could do, writers, because 4 ships fired a few torpedoes.
That's one of the smallest details of the whole thing, even though it's the catalyst for the whole thing as well. It's like, you just need an anomaly. I was going to say temporal anomaly. You just need some kind of MacGuffin to get them there. But
that's not even a MacGuffin. That's a standard weapon.
It's glazed over.
But you have to admit, that's quite a weak version. Like, if they'd said we're venting a drive plasma and it like their plasma interacted with it, you know, literally anything else would have been better. It was the lowest common denominator, and surprisingly didn't happen other times. You know, if it just took torpedoes of a certain era of Romulan ship.
Well, it was just a nice convergence of like different things going on in that battle. The space, the location of the ship.
They should have said, like, we hid in the Tyranitan Nebula, and therefore, you know, the one extra detail to give a catalyst, because, like I say, it's just.
Did you like how I said convergence of things?
Oh.
It's temporal anomaly convergence. You know what I'm saying?
They don't.
I'm looking out for you.
Thank
James
you, bro.
$5.
Thank you.
One of my top 5 favorite TNG episodes. Love the return of Lieutenant Yar. Great story. Although there's missed opportunity to create warship version of the Enterprise. Well, they do say it's a battleship, and the bridge is definitely different. But yeah, they could have slapped some stuff on it. But
I mean, considering how much they went into, I could forgive them, because they, you know, that's a lot of extra stuff. Because then you're also ruining a 4-foot miniature, potentially. I mean, that's another 100k. That just wasn't worth it, and extra time. You got to get enough beautiful space shots that would have maybe lost us 2 of those just to have it. So I'm fine with that, honestly.
Like the Galaxy X was the last episode, so if
Yeah.
they ruin the model, it's like,
Yep.
They don't want to, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Jeff, I love ships. Jacobs puts in $2. 150. Keep it up. We shall get to 250 this day. 232 of you here, which is amazing, guys. Hit that like button, and yeah, let's get those likes up. This is a very good viewership for this one, so we appreciate that.
And as we hoped. But Bleak Vision has a great comment with his penguin avatar. Should have been anomaly caused by a warbird singularity. Yes, they should have taken out a warbird, and it reacted la la la. Perfect. Love it.
Yep.
That would have been great.
Olivia Julius, $2. Are the screens in the back of the bridge different? Yes, they absolutely are different. I got a few shots of some of them as they pan through.
Way more red. Way more red.
Yeah. And more schematics of the ships, of the ship and stuff. So, Holford XYZ puts in $10. Just wanted to say I love you two, and your show has been such a joy to watch the last 2 years. Live long and prosper. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Live long and prosper to you as well.
Thank you. And $10 is amazing. It's so super generous. Thank you. And again, call out to Guinan. It's all close-ups to not highlight like all the changes, but the amount of crew now, you instantly feel, and the way the chairs are different, you feel it's like a barracks. It's like a common room of the feel is so different, and it's very, very well done.
Well, I love the changeover, and you hear more announcements the whole time. Like even later in sickbay, there's always announcements. And this first one, Dr. Josh Campbell, report to Citation Ops. It's like, awesome. Let's get Citation Ops in there.
It's also male voice, just like Mirror Universe, as opposed to female computer voice. Again, subtle, but it's the other voice. Yeah. Lots of things are flipped or reversed or whatever.
Zaraxis, though, throws in $10.
Dang.
One thing I love about this episode is that everything is still very clearly Federation. The ships, phasers, bridge still on top, etc., all show that peace is still preferred over war. Yeah, I mean, it was only 22 years ago, so like they would have had all these designs and stuff in the works and being built. So, yeah, I appreciate that. And David Bessick throws in $20. Hello, David. Hell of an episode. Wish we could have gotten to see more of the Enterprise C. I always found the design somewhat odd. One, as in both a step forward towards the D and backwards from the Enterprise B, in my opinion. I wouldn't say the backwards from the Enterprise B. I think Andrews fits more in the lineage, but yeah, I think it's fine. Just saying. Because then we find out that we got a registry, NCC 1701C, and it's the immediate predecessor to this battleship. But that was destroyed over 20 years ago. 22 days, 3 months, 4 days ago. Last seen near Narendra 3. Has it been adrift, or has it traveled through time? And they're reading massive damage, and they find some life signs. And Riker right away is like, Dr. Crusher, get to the transporter room, transporters, get ready to start beaming over survivors. And Picard's like, belay that order. And Riker looks kind of pissed. Again, Riker's not really Riker. I don't like Riker in this episode.
Well, he has basically no personality. I mean, they have to sacrifice certain characters to give Whoopi and to give Tasha more character. But, I mean, you get a sense that basically Riker and Picard aren't close at all. They're just officers. Everyone's just a military officer, and he just does his job. But also because they no longer have the 5 technically seat spaces at the front. He's back there with Worf or Tasha, so he's in essence a tactical secondary. So he's just there doing his job. He's not unequal to Picard. He's not trying to be. He's back there doing his job. And later on in the briefing room they say, "This is a briefing, not asking your opinions. So this is what we're doing." End of, team. End of.
And going back to those monitors at the back of the screen, I love the addition of more color. There's more purples, there's more reds, there's different color scheme than just the kind of sandy pastel colors that they use for TNG, which I love. I love that little change.
And they don't really change from red alert to not. It's always kind of an aggressive stance look.
Yeah.
And obviously, what a shout out to the blue top. I mean, boy. And also top harsh lighting, just very, very clever lighting. And one of the subtle things I'm sure you did notice, but you won't necessarily, that the bridge, obviously because I'm just saying it for other people, but the bridge So he's got one chair now, but what they've done is actually add a new middle section to raise Picard right up. So he's now basically in line with the back. That's why he can jump in later. But that means the whole feel of the bridge is different because he's now up higher, but also more equal with them. It's a whole different vibe, and they do that 3 times for 3 different episodes. But it changes all of the shooting angles, which again changes the feel because you have to shoot if you want to shoot the captain. Everything behind him will be different. Very, very clever and expensive. And speaking of expensive, that first big shot of Enterprise C moving around the ship, what a glorious miniature shot. I mean, just they are saying we are getting close to this miniature, it will hold up, and it does. It is a really good miniature. For one episode, they put all the respect it deserves in, and it really shows. So well on them.
Yep. Going back to the bridge for a second, notice there's like bars of reinforcement in the slots between the padded sections.
Yep.
They look like rivets.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what they're for, but it definitely looks more militaristic. And also the side panels on the side of the bridge. I've always loved those, even in Generations. Yep. I think that's a great addition. I wish they were there all the time.
I mean, for me, it makes it feel more cluttered. I know more functional, but I mean, you won't want to stand there all day and what do they do? And but again, it's just so many good changes. And I another thing I didn't notice until HD, that you're right, those connective bits in the lines. I mean, it's such a small thing that is never highlighted, but it changes the feel of it. And it's the first time I've seen them after how many watches? So well done, HD.
I've noticed them before, but yeah. So we get a distress call, which is audio only.
Yep. And repeating.
And so they have heavy damage due to a Romulan attack. And Picard's like, "This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Federation ship of a Federation ship." So I love that. I think that's great. That he catches himself and he's aware of the temporal issue. That's why he kind of belayed Riker's order to beam people over or whatever. So that's great. Super Crew 63 puts in $2. Sam, any thoughts on doing a 3D model of the Goodson?
Well, I can't model, so if someone else wants to do one, that's fine. But if you want to do it probably for the show, that takes some time and effort and thought. And that model only has one perspective, so it's a hard one to extrapolate from. So some thought, but the thought is not that doable per se without getting really extrapolatory. And definitely not top of the list, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed the episode because it was fun to make.
And Jeff, I love ships, Jacobs puts in $2. Make sure history never forgets the name Trekyards. Ooh, I like it.
Would be nice.
So anyway, yes, they decide to send over some people.
But they do clarify we can't affect the timeline. We'll be careful, don't talk about anything, don't whatever anything. I do think that rule is a little bit stretched / broken.
Oh yeah.
But at least it's there. You know, it's also good. We love the procedural where they go through the steps to make things make sense. They do go through them at least at the start. So I appreciate that for sure. Also, did you think Data has a different makeup this week? Because he feels a little bit different. I was thinking maybe his hair is slicked back in a different way, more aggressively slicked back or something. Because he doesn't feel the same. I don't know how different, but not the same.
I never got that feeling. No.
Okay. Okay.
He just seemed like Data. He didn't even speak differently or anything.
No,
in my opinion.
No, not the speed. I mean, the look was a little bit different.
Yeah. So anyway, they beam over. They look around the bridge. The captain's injured. She has a bad fracture and serious internal injuries. The rest of the bridge crew is dead, apparently.
Via tricorder.
Yeah.
So they're dead. Confirmed.
Yes. Until one of them crawls out from under some rubble.
Yep.
And it's Lieutenant Castile, who announces himself as the helmsman. So it's not the first officer. He is an officer, but we find out later he's the only surviving officer.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest are just crewmen. And there's 100 and...
Well, no. Last time is senior officer. There are still officers, just not anywhere near the chain of command. Yeah.
Yeah. There's 125 survivors, it turns out.
Yeah.
So...
And a bit of that did seem weird. Again, I'm noticing smaller things, but to say there's no one surviving then have him survive does feel stupid. Like, that's a plot hole instantly. It's like, don't say it if you're not... You know what I mean?
I think the implication is that she scanned all the bodies she could see, and they're all dead. and she wasn't just scanning for life forms in the bridge vicinity. You know,
maybe, but just do a wide beam scan for life signs. I mean, either way, it's bad officership, or basically she failed the officer. So imagine if they didn't move the bulkhead and that guy died because he was pinned. You know what I mean? Like, she was being a shit doctor there, but whatever. But obviously, Rachel Garrett, female captain, Enterprise C, good for them. You know, good for them. And I think she's pretty damn good in this role. She's neither amazing nor bad, but she fits in perfectly. Like, she's not given much characterization to do, but she fits the role of strong captain really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think this would have been a really great story. Like, why not? They should have brought her back in like season 6 to do like a flashback episode, like maybe in Tapestry. Yeah, it could have worked. Yeah, that would have been 20 years maybe. You know, it would have been nice to bring her back as Garrett for something else, or do a holodeck simulation or something, because she was good. You know, to see a bit more of her. But you know, whatever. That's okay.
So we got a nice shot of Picard entering the bridge, and I love the amount of extras that are on this ship. 10 forward is always full. The bridge is always occupied with lots of people. It feels like the ship was supposed to feel, because Andrew Probert designed it for a crew of 6,000, and Gene's like, we don't have the extras for that. The crew's going to be 1,015. Which, when you watch Eric Henry's view or a video on the internal volume of the ship, it was like big parts of it would be empty. Which we talked about as well in our episode on the Galaxy class. There's a lot of unused decks, essentially, that can be reconfigured as needed. So, but yeah, I love the extras on it. They even mentioned later that it's a troop transport, can carry up to 6,000 troops. So they don't say how many are stationed on it at the time, but so he has a little back and forth with Riker here. Riker's like, we can, Starfleet could use another ship.
He's not happy.
Yeah, he's not happy here. And Picard's like, we can stay in this area for about 9 hours. So if you can't get it up and running in 9 hours, we're going to have to destroy it. Or they said something about taking it to Starbase 105 or something.
Well, that's like if they can get it back operational, we'll head together to Starbase 135.
Yeah.
If not, they'll get the crew off and destroy it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Riker is not happy about it. Riker's just a dick in this episode. Anyway, yeah. So they're working on repairs. 9 hours is a lot of time as well. So I'd like to know why they're specifically here in this sector. We never get that answer. I mean, were they investigating the anomaly? Because in the Prime version, they come out of warp at the beginning. You see them come out of warp at 10 forward, and all of a sudden the anomaly appears. But why was this ship at the anomaly in this sector where there's Klingons?
See, I was thinking that I don't think actually at warp at the start, because the stars are moving too slow. I thought because there's a distinct warp effect.
Yeah.
But they're moving, so my assumption is they were at impulse, just being, which I thought was weird. Why the impulse? But in temporal anomaly they get forced out of warp for it. But my assumption is it's a causality loop in a sort of sense as well. Like, it was drawn to itself, potentially, it was drawn to something, maybe, who the hell knows. But at the end of the day, it's one of those, it happened because it happened. The anomaly, they were just traveling from A to B on impulse for whatever reason, and this anomaly appeared. It pulled DC from Narendra 3 to here, and I guess they're near the Klingon border, although given they're at war, I doubt there's a border, as in there's no neutral zone, there's just space. Yeah. And presumably, given they're one of the top ships, they're patrolling the border, which would make sense why they're impulse. They're just sort of like maybe showing force, and then when a big temporal thing happened, the Klingons like, yeah, we're going to investigate that, and because they have clearly more resources, they can send a good force. So I think it's just because it was, it didn't need to be here, and obviously Klingons can get 10 hours at warp is still quite a way at top warp. Still quite a few light years.
Zerax is $2.
Hey.
That is one shiny android head and hair.
Yeah, I thought pretty shiny.
Could just be the lighting as well, though.
Yeah, and absolutely. I'm trying to think of what else besides lighting. Yeah, if anything.
Howl Runner throws in €5. We're seeing a lot of good new names, which is great. We have 256 people here, which is awesome. Guys, hit that like button. Let's get the likes up. And if you want a super chat, please feel free. So Howlrunner says, always wondered why the main guys did not have the strap over the shoulder like the rest of the D crew. They look a bit out of place for me.
It's just variation.
Yeah.
I assume it's also officers versus average people.
Yeah, crewmen, yeah.
Because I mean, if you're a general, you have a different uniform than a, because remember they're wearing the season one and 2 uniforms. So it's like all the new shiny uniforms don't have them, all the old uniforms do. So I guess it's kind of like foot soldiers, younger officers. Because if this isn't a science ship, then it's going to be drastically more military personnel. So therefore, everyone you see is likely just a military officer who's literally there as a soldier. So I would be fine to say they are the tactical force and the commanders of their fields, where the command uniform, therefore you can distinguish them easily, would be my assumption.
Yeah. And there's a comment here from Dark Blood Revisited.
Cool,
hey,
man.
Stuart and Samuel.
Hello.
Been watching your channel for a few years. First time chiming in. Loving the TNG reviews, this one especially. Well, thank you very much. And good to see you.
And guys, just so you know, those that might be joining in that don't normally join in, we do these all the time, all throughout TNG. We're in some great TNG right now. Join in, say hi. At the same time, several days a week. Join the fun with us. We like to think we add something to the conversation, and yeah, we have fun too.
Yeah, so anyway, Guinan comes on the bridge and says, this isn't how things are supposed to be. It just doesn't feel right. And then we cut to another scene where they're in a different room with the war map, which is cool to see.
And you really can't tell where it is. It's so shot in close-up, so you have no idea. It's actually the briefing room just massively redressed, but it's like, where is this? It's so abstract. I love it.
And a fun schematic behind Picard as well of the ship, which is cool. She goes, it's just wrong. There should be families on this ship.
Families? No,
children on the Enterprise?
No,
we're at war. No, we're not. This is a ship of peace. So she knows something's up, and she even says to him, we've known each other for a long time now, so I wouldn't say this if it wasn't important.
Although I got the distinct impression, because this is an interesting distinction. This isn't our Guinan. This is their Guinan. This is their Guinan with all the memories.
I don't think there's a differentiation though. They're all the Guinans are linked, it seems.
Yeah.
So even the one in the Nexus, it's just she can contact. She's in touch with all of them. It feels like.
Okay, I wouldn't say that, but I get why you'd say that, because this episode implies only one timeline. The singular. If there's alternate realities, there's one timeline I have to reset. Otherwise the Enterprise D would still get destroyed, and we see it reset. We don't see we don't follow the Enterprise C back to the prime timeline. We reset this timeline, so it's implying one timeline, not two, whatever. Anyway, but this Guinan is their Guinan, and this episode, I think it's implied that she's been on the ship far longer than 1 year. 10 Forward's been around much longer, and they've been friends for several years at least. And because otherwise, you've only seen them together 6 episodes, and so the bond is nowhere near as strong as would be needed for this episode to make sense. Because she basically says at the end, "Kill this crew," and almost sacrifice herself trying to kill this crew to save everyone. Trust me, Guinan, I've only known you 6 months. No, you've known me 4.5 years. So you need this universe context, what they've grown together.
Well, even in the other universe, though, it's stated that they've known each other for a long time. They just haven't. She hasn't been on the Enterprise the whole time. They've known each other for years.
Okay, I don't. Well, okay, I never got that vibe particularly, but in this, I definitely get it's like we've known each other a long time, look longer than the other version. I would have said personally.
Yeah. Ozzy though throws in $5. Where is Deanna? Was she in the beginning and then not until the end? Skeleton Hands. No, she actually was not in the beginning of this one at all.
No, she was in the bridge.
Episode.
Yeah, she was on the bridge.
She?
Yeah, just before it turns out. That's why it's nice to see everybody, because she's there sitting and she's there sitting at the end, and nothing. Yeah.
Oh, well, fine then. Be that way. All right. Uniforms. I want to. The collars are different. And they add the black parts to the sleeves. So do you think they did whole new uniforms, or did they just remove the collars and put on new collars for the episode? You said you had thought about the uniform.
Yeah, so I never noticed either in my many years of watching this, and I appreciate them because it does accentuate the black, and where's a good view of it. So my guess for the collar, given that we both have uniform variants, is that they just did a new wraparound thin fabric outer. Because that's too much to redo, because you've still got the red lining and they just replaced so it goes over the top. Because it's so dark, the episode, that even seeing the blacks differential you wouldn't necessarily see. And if you look at this, you can kind of see there might be a plane, but I mean, you wouldn't waste the thousands of dollars to change uniforms for one episode and to then undo them, because if you built new ones, you then undo them to use them for the main crew again. So I think they just added like a dog collar for a priest. You know, just add it back on, changes the vibe, and then these are just add-ons. Yeah, I think it's that easy, which is partially why Geordie's in them at the end, because it's still their normal uniform. They just got tweaked. They didn't think of them as different uniforms because they whatever. But yeah, it does genuinely change the vibe a lot. It's a really clever small touch that really is effective, and it's everybody, even Crusher, like even the secondaries or even the non-military still have that. So I appreciate that.
Olivia Julius, $5.
Thank you.
The Enterprise D seems like too much of an odd warship. It needs to be more like the Akira or Defiant, small, powerful, and fast, not bulky and slow. Well, as I said, I mean, the plans for the Galaxy were probably already done, or at least in the works 20 years ago. Might be a little extreme, but then the Naranda 3 thing happened, the Enterprise disappeared, and this war started, and by the time that, you know, everything was ramped up, we don't know how long the Enterprise has been around. We don't know when it was launched in this one. It could have been launched a lot sooner.
Well, because war tends to speed up technology, as they say in the episode.
So it could have been rushed out, and it could have been set up to be a different kind of ship, and they just went.
Well, I mean, think of the Enterprise as an aircraft carrier. Aircraft carriers are slow, bulky, not maneuverable, but you need them. So the Enterprise D, if it, I mean, what does 6,000 troops really mean on the ship? You're not going to beam them all, are you? There's probably a fighter contingent. They've got massive bays. They don't launch them because there's no point in this mission, or whatever. But it's still a very powerful warship with incredibly big phasers, incredibly big whatever. And it was not in this for a fighter. Like, it wasn't in this as a there was no mission to fight. It was now we have to defend. So this ship isn't the primary tip of the sword, but it might be a capital ship to resupply, to be fleet command. You know, you need a lot of powers. I have no problem at all with it. I'm sure it had, you know, more photon launchers, more whatever that we just didn't see, because obviously miniature wasn't changed. I'm not really against that, to be honest.
And Jeff, I love ships. Jacobs puts in $2, which I missed. 200 already. I guess that we were heading for 300. Hashtag make Jeff Bay. 272 of you here. That is incredible, guys. If you haven't hit like, please hit like. It's a very simple thing. Just click the thumbs up, and it really helps us out. So please do so. We'd love seeing all you guys here. That's awesome. And
Jeff says aircraft carriers are the fastest ships in the ocean, Sam. I meant like maneuverability. I doubt the biggest thing is the quickest to turn, is what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, fastest, sure, but that's with this. Most power, but not to turn. But also, they did clarify it's the first warship of the Galaxy class, which I thought was interesting as a unique spin on that, given we know there should be the Galaxy.
Anyway, we're down in sickbay. We see all the wounded. We see Rachel Garrett on the table. And we get I love how she gives Picard you can see it in her eyes. She's looking over his uniform, which I'm glad they did that because she dresses it in a second, but she gives him a once-over. And she's like, find out that they were answering a distress signal from a Klingon outpost on Naranda 3 when they were attacked by the Romulans. And then she switches over right away to say, this sickbay is like nothing I've ever seen before, not even on a starbase. And your uniform, who are you people? It's almost like it's Section 31.
Yeah.
It's like it's a special ship, you know.
Marcus? Is that you, Marcus? Because he would still exist. I mean, there's, prime chap still.
She says, "What ship is this, Captain?" And then he goes on to say, you've been thrown 22 years into the future. And she says, well, what happened was a fierce volley of photon torpedoes, and then a flash of white light, and then we were here. There were 4 warbirds, and then Picard says, well, a Federation starship rescuing a Klingon outpost might have averted 20 years of war.
And given that the shields were down when they came in, I'm guessing that those torpedoes hit the hull. The flash was also explosions, because the entire bridge crew was just dead, except Castile. And I'm assuming most of those scorch marks, that final flurry, maybe it was something to do with how they impacted the hull, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this scene struck out to me as a weird scene, because I remember this being further in the past. So when she says, it's like nothing I've seen before, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yep, I thought the same thing.
22 years is nothing. 22 years is not a long time, and you're like, it's like magic. What is this? Is this a tricorder? I've not seen it. 22 years. Like when they say later on, when this,
you gotta look at.
well, okay.
So I was just gonna say, you gotta look at the biobeds. The biobeds haven't changed since Star Trek 6. They're exactly the same. So yeah, I thought the same thing.
There's a similar moment when Castillo's like, I mean, all the people I know are dead. I'm like, no, they're just 20 years older.
20 years older.
Everybody you know is alive. Your parents are still alive.
Will I recognize them? He says.
Yes.
You probably, you dumb bastard.
Your parents
it's like
are
50 years. Like it's 80 years.
Your parents are from 60 to 80. They look like they're 70. What do you want? Like, it wants to play as if it's the past, but 20 is a stupid number. Like, genuinely it plays like a stupid thing, and I get that they were at the end of their era, and this is the brand new start of this era. I get that, but it's only one leap. I don't think people on TMP would say, "My God, Jim, it's so different." It's like, well, it looks quite different, but I understand everything. It's not that different.
And I sincerely doubt that the starbases didn't have more advanced medical tech. That's just how it goes. They experiment with the stuff, then it gets shunted down to ships.
Yep.
So a lot of this stuff in the sickbay would have been available on starbases, I'm sure.
And it's not as if she, being 45, 50, hasn't lived through all of TOS as well. So she's seen 3 generations of tech now, including TNG. Like, you understand the communicator tricorder. It just seemed like a really stupid set of lines, considering 50 years. Yes, if this was then,
they're trying to make her realize that it's a different era, but it
doesn't work. Now, obviously, if they hadn't done the movies, if this was Enterprise A, the first one after Kirk, 60, but there's not much you could have done. They only had one Enterprise to play with. They could have done the B, but this was better. But it does play a bit weird, considering that Picard was alive, and in the Academy when you know what I mean. It's not like she could have known Picard easily. Yeah.
No, number one special puts in $2. Look at how much tech we've got in 20 years.
But the difference between like 1816, 1840 wasn't, or 13, 10, and 50. Because we've had a leap of technology. When they don't leap, it doesn't jump. Like, it's not that much. Look how much smartphones in 3 years. Because you got to think in proportion, not much. Yeah. It feels disingenuous. But again, she's also probably got a concussion. I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's fine. Just a bit daft.
So, anyway, nice. I mean, I like Rachel.
But it is well acted. Just say it is well acted. It's just daft lines.
It is. So now we're over in the Enterprise C, and we got Castile talking to Tasha. 22 years. Would my family still be alive? Would I even recognize them?
Yes.
Yes. So they have 40% forward shields and 40% aft shields, 60% for forward phasers, and 52% for aft phasers.
But
that's how far the repairs have gone.
40% is under minimum, which we learn. And there's a tactical universe, but and this also felt a bit weird. So this is not yet 9 hours, right? And yet they've completely cleaned the bridge. It's effing spotless. Everyone's uniform are now clean, except Castillo says dirt on his face, but his uniform's clean. He only loses dirt after the captain.
Well, his uniform is still dirty.
I mean, okay, well, it's I guess cleaner. Like, he's progressively getting cleaner. All of the things are online, and I find it again stupid that within 6 hours from a ship being basically destroyed, has everything working to a high level. I get they're future people, but that is...
And they're also at war, which means they have extra resources on board, more trained crew, larger repair crews, because they're used to being in battle, helping out other ships, repairing their own ship.
But you know what I mean? If it takes less than 5 hours to go from 0 to 60, you either weren't very damaged or it's really easy to fix, which it should have been like 30 or 40, because that would have been impressive. 60 is basically... magic. It just feels it is very, very easy. Very, very easy.
Tasha tells him, though, the Federation has lost more than half of Starfleet to the Klingons at this point. And he's like, well, when I left, we were negotiating a peace treaty. She's like, well, a lot of things have changed since you left.
Which I find interesting, because I guess the Khitomer Accords are a truce. Because I thought they were a peace treaty.
Well, they're accords. They're not a treaty.
Okay.
It's to make things easier between the two. So
Makes it go.
Yeah, they can work towards peace with that. So
because that means they've been at peace with Klingons for less than 22 years. But it means that what I find interesting that if the war started after Narendra, that means only a few years after, like in their timeline, Khitma only lasted like 5 years. That's it. And but I mean, things Star Trek 6 hadn't happened yet. But you tell me that the Klingon Empire, from destruction of Praxis, managed to go from we'll be dead in 30 years to destroying the entire destroying half the Federation in 22, I guess 26 years. Well, I know it's a bit more time, maybe 35, but hey, the Klingons
Discovery, they were cleaning the floor with, they almost wiped out all the Federation.
We're talking about the best of Trek. Don't go the other way.
But the other Klingon war that happened,
Stuart,
that Starfleet was almost like annihilated. Not a band account, puts in $5. Starfleet shouldn't be losing. Admiral Cartwright told us the fleet could spread across the neutral zone to Kronos and clean their chronometers in Star Trek 6. That's Star Trek 6. A lot has changed since then.
Also hasn't happened yet.
Yes. And the Klingons have had time to recover from the explosion of Praxis. So.
Well, yeah, I guess once you stop thinking there's a Cold War with a set of people, you can then focus on everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... Yeah.
So, yeah, next scene...
Well, actually, quick question, though.
No. No, go ahead. I said yes.
Oh, I thought I said no. I thought I said instant no. So these two actors, what chemistry do you think they have? They spend a lot of time together. How much do they actually have together as love interests, as officers? What do you think? Having watched this one again?
I think they have a good chemistry together as far as their characters go. I think it's fine. I have no issues with it at all, actually.
No, I don't either. I think it's probably a little bit quick, but also there's nothing left to live for, so he's going to be quick.
Yep.
So I think it's, yeah. I think they probably didn't pick like genuinely romantic, interesty style chemistry people because that'd have been too much. Like you couldn't have a true love interest because the fact is these are all soldiers. Tasha's not going to swoon. I mean that would be stupid. So how far can you go? It's all about the subtle. It's all about the small moments in this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, number one special puts in $5.
Thank you.
It is hard to fix things in battle while items are being destroyed while repairing others.
Yeah.
So Data and Picard are talking and looking at the temporal distortion. And basically, they come to the conclusion that if the ship goes back, it would be a death sentence. Mm-hmm. As they would arrive back at the exact same place, exact same battle. So this is like a wormhole of sorts that's stable for right now. So, yeah, there you go. It's a temporal anomaly.
And Lance Ripper says, I think the commander is nitpicking. I watched this episode and never crossed my mind about the whole 22 years and the sea crew wouldn't recognise it as a family argument. But isn't that just lack of you noticing it? I don't think that's a nitpick so much as pointing out, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I mean, nitpick could be tiny things. It's quite a big thing, really.
Because I thought it was more time too.
Yeah.
Honestly, for some reason, 80 years stuck in my head, which is stupid because that's when Kirk was still around. But yeah, 22 years. I'm like, you wouldn't recognize your family, seriously?
Yeah. I mean, should be at least 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've just established that if they do send them back, they're going to be destroyed because they're going to end up right in the exact same battle.
There's no chance basically, and Damon says there's just no chance. This is a great example of the harsh lighting. I mean, this is a beautiful shot of Data and Picard, but you can still see Picard, and yet his face is mostly dark in the sense he's not being lit properly. And you can't tell me Data doesn't feel different there. Like some of his shininess, his hair, like he looks thinner to me. Just something about. I know it's again the collar, so he's less of a neck.
It's more of a shiny look now you've said that.
I think it is. It's subtle, but something. And I do think that for Patrick, they accentuated his wrinkles on his face, the thick ones, to make them more black, so he looked more tired and stressed. I thought that instantly from the first bit, but every time, because it's about Shadow this episode, like he looks just more beaten down. Again, subtlety, but I think that's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
Oh,
let
yeah.
me get oh, sorry.
Well, filled corridor. I mean, look at that. What choice
Yeah,
of...
yeah.
And again, super zoomed in lenses. There are no wide angles. There's no big broad
Yep.
sets. It's all close-ups. Very claustrophobic, but you get so much more like stuff because of that. It's very good cinematography. It's very different. Very, very different.
And it feels like a active, important ship. So
Yep.
we find out here she's telling him that the new Enterprise has 42 decks, capable of transporting over 6,000 troops. Yeah, they're going to focus on the weapon systems to get the things back online. I love how he's got his phaser on his side. With no, like they use the belt loop for that, I guess.
Yeah, it's true.
But those uniforms don't look good without the belt, unfortunately.
But to be honest, this time around, didn't think it looked as bad as they did last time. I thought because it's a form-fitting one for him. Like it has. Yeah. So they did a good job with him. But you're right. Everyone else uses the full secondaries. And Becky's here. Hello, Becky. Hey, Becky. Go back and rewatch the start right now for like first 15 minutes. That's effort. Go back and watch
later
Becky.
When we're done.
Or later. Go back and look.
So we find out there are Klingon warships in the sector, and you need. Why did I have written down? You need at least another 24 hours.
No, that's Crusher saying you need at least 24 hours more to heal.
Oh, yeah, I didn't put a divider between. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I just noticed a few small things in the scene that I never saw. So Castile, still dirty, even though they fixed the bridge, but he's been too busy working, has some time to shower. But Garrett, face clean, but in fact her trousers are ripped.
Mm-hmm.
And they...
Well, I want you to go back for a second to when the shot of Castile, his arm.
Yep.
With the phaser. The lieutenant's bar, the one is twisted down. It's like it's broken.
Yeah.
And that's a Star Trek II phaser.
Yes.
So you're telling me they went back to Star Trek II phasers after the ones from Star Trek VI, the
assault phasers.
And these?
Yeah, those are 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of an odd choice to use that phaser.
Do you know why it's not choice, Stuart?
Why?
The ones didn't exist yet.
Okay.
They didn't exist in the universe, so they could not have used them. That I've seen this phasers didn't even occur to me because I forgot they were. Yeah.
I mean, it might be a little different than a Star Trek II phaser, but it's got basically the same shape. The handle's definitely the same.
Oh no, it's the same phaser. Come on, it's a repainted.
No, I'm trying to rationalize.
The only thing I could say is that maybe the assault phaser was harder to build, and so but there wasn't a war in their timeline. It was the same universe. Yeah.
Let's see.
That is the sort of thing that's as problematic as the Enterprise B is Excelsior in the briefing room, even though it's an Enterprise B variant. Because it didn't exist yet, there's nothing you can do about that, guys. It's not even a continuity error. It's just could not have existed and happened. Unlike the Discovery thing where they should have known, couldn't have happened.
Robert Borg though throws in $4. Love you guys and everything you do. Well, thank you very much.
But we do a lot though. That's a lot. You like when Stuart gets shirtless? Really? We're going for everything.
That happens occasionally.
And it might happen on this weekend's Drunk Trekyards. Don't pimp it now. Saturday the 13th or Sunday the 14th. We'll let you know when we know. Full Drunk Live to celebrate our birthdays. We'll go through our birthday presents. I want to do something in uniform because that'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun, a lot of booze, a lot of food. I'm excited. Join in for that. It'll be a hell of a time. This weekend.
Yes.
This weekend.
Sorry. Yes. And I was going to say something, but I can't remember what. That's okay.
And Lance says he wished they had actual budget to make uniforms Enterprise C crew. See, I think it was better to use these uniforms. We see them so infrequently in the show, and they're such bloody good uniforms, you know. And
they tried to change me with Jack Crusher to be an evolution from Wrath of Khan to TNG because they take away the collar, they take away the belt.
Yep.
But so it's kind of going towards that more, casual look almost. But it's a cheap cop out because those uniforms weren't designed for that and they don't look good like that, and I hate that.
I just noticed. So Castillo.
Hold on. When Picard was wearing a maroon, he had a belt.
Yes, he had the full uniform at the academy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that would have been
after this.
around this time. or yeah, a little after this. Goddamn.
But I mean, that it's like you got the full thing. Also, little note. So Castillo, he's missing his comm badge in this scene, and then we goes up to Garrett. Didn't give him a comm badge. That's why it looks even more weird.
Mm-hmm.
He's totally missing that piece. But you're right. Oh, sorry.
People are going to call it, it's not a comm badge. It totally is a comm badge, which we'll find out later.
Guys, it's actually a comm badge.
Yeah.
Trust us on this. But I love the fact that you notice, yeah, his rank thing is damaged. But then you go forward again, something I didn't notice. First, Garrett's trouser ripped.
And her fucking captain's thing is damaged too.
And her captain's thing is sliding off. I mean, what a small attention to detail. I mean, that's like attention to detail, you know? Although I think
was that deliberate or was that an accident? Was that like Commodore O's crooked admiral's bars, Rizzo's rank pips that's like magnetized together, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? No, I'm having a stroke. Call 911.
No, we're busy. No, I think that was absolutely on purpose, given the fact that Castillo also has broken rank pips, because it's such a small note. But again, never seen that. How many years? But she's absolutely wearing an undershirt, a red undershirt, because I mean I'm wearing this correctly, and there's no undershirt that isn't white, so she's wearing actually a custom piece, which is kind of strange. And I wonder why they cleaned her face but didn't bother cleaning her knee. Like, at least it's healed, but they don't clean her knee. And, you know, oh dear. And she's got the eccentric rank lines on her trousers. Mm-hmm. Does that match the rest of her uniform? Because I don't think she has the correct braidage on her jacket, because that looks like an admiral braid.
Yeah, I don't think she's supposed to have those stripes on her pants. I think those are admiral pants.
I mean, well, he's wearing a single gold line, but I think she's wearing too many.
But then again, we got to make the conceit that perhaps the style of the pants changed from Kirk's era to this, because it's quite a amount of time. So maybe they've changed and have like the rank striping on the pants as well.
Yeah.
I don't
know. But I mean, it probably isn't wrong, because I was thinking the only version that they had would be, you know, 3 admirals in Star Trek 2, and you know, would they give her Shatner's trousers because they happen to fit her, or would they just give her, you know, secondaries? So they're probably right. Just it looks a bit odd.
Tuning 3434. Oh my God, we are in uniform analysis mode. This channel. That's what this channel does. Uniforms are kind of part of the tech and ship.
And we like uniforms.
We like pointing this stuff out because a lot of people might not have seen this or noticed it.
Yep.
And we like bringing it to people's attention. We don't even notice it half the time until we do these reviews. And even in the moment, like, look at the picture and go, oh shit, I didn't realize his rank thing was broken until I just went by the picture just now.
That's brilliant.
So I just wanted to point it out because
we both just watched this. We both just relived, and yet we're seeing more. Because, I mean, other people have done reviews of these. But as long as we get new things out of it, that's an added. Well, I found it interesting that she says to Garrett, you know, back to actual story stuff, you need 24 more hours. I mean, she knows they can only be here for another 4 hours. And she's saying you have to be off your bridge for 1 day, and then I know, and Garrett calls her out for being too protective, but it's not realistic. And really, 24 hours.
Doctors always overprotect their patients, and captains always push themselves too hard. Yep. It's the classic captain versus doctor situation.
But why will 24 hours make a difference? I mean, they've got magic healing tools. What is she injured enough that will make any difference? They can't just go zzz. Whatever. But it's good though. I mean, the way she says "I'm going on my ship" is a good line. You know.
And she has every right to say so in the situation.
I mean, she outranks everyone except Picard. So yeah, and technically she's an older captain, being another 22. Oh, I was about to say 100 years. No, it's only 22 years. Not that long.
Yeah.
Briefing room. Redress.
Briefing room. Another guy in a Picard moment. I love that you see the Enterprise D behind him, which is in the foreground of the shot when she comes in, which is great. I just love that. I love that. I want that on my wall, actually. That's pretty cool. But Picard's like, I need more information. She's like, well, there is no more. I wish that I could prove it, but I can't. Picard's like, well, I can't just ask them to go back then. They will die moments after they return. How can I ask them to die based solely on your intuition? Yeah. She's like, every fiber of my being says this is a mistake. I can't explain it to myself, so I can't explain it to you. I only know that I'm right. And then Picard's like, who is to say that that this history is any less proper than the other? I guess I am. Not good enough, damn it. Not good enough. One of the best Picard moments. And she's like, well, 40 billion people have already died because of this war. Yep. This war isn't supposed to be happening. Mm-hmm. Every instinct is telling me that this is wrong. Or that's Picard. Every instinct is telling me that this is wrong. It is dangerous. It is futile. And this is where she says, we've known each other for a long time. I told you what you must do. You have to trust me and make your decision. Mm-hmm. This is a beautiful, well-scripted, well-acted scene with these two, and mm-hmm. I simply adore it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. And Rambling Rattlesnake says, what was the original design for Enterprise C uniform? This.
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
There was no.
Yes. I mean, put enough effort in. So yeah, this scene is interesting on a few levels because it pushes the suspension of disbelief for everyone involved, the audience and the characters. Because in reality, he's saying this being he knows very little about tells you the universe is wrong and you have no evidence of any kind. And it's amazing to see Picard every step of the way believe her more and more. Now, do you think that might imply that he gets a similar sense at a certain point? Once he's been, because the universe is wrong, it shifted. I'm maybe reaching a little bit, but he does believe her without any actual evidence. And it does, for me, feel a little bit extreme that a little bit step. Because it literally says, on my word only. That's all you're going to get, and yet act on it. That's a hefty thing to do. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
I mean, he could have some kind of intuition himself, but it was just like one of those feelings you get sometimes, like, you kind of second guess something. But then her kind of floating on top of it, it's like, oh, well, maybe I should have trusted that feeling. I kind of get that sense from him. But then the point he says, every instinct is telling me this is wrong, this is dangerous, this is futile, to send them back. He's fighting against...
And yet, just trusting Guinan's unproved sense is enough. Like, everything in him says no, but because Guinan says, I think this is right. Like, that, again, the leap there is absolutely ginormous. It is huge. That's what I'm saying. We have to suspend our disbelief, and he has to suspend his disbelief too. I like the fact that Patrick's acting here is not Picard. It's Enterprise Picard. He is yelling. He is angry. He is short-tempered. I'm going to yell because I'm this universe. He wouldn't do this in the prime timeline, except even more extreme, but he's throwing it right out here. I like it. It's good.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic where he blows up at her. Not good enough, damn it. Not good enough.
But it's still controlled. It's him being professional.
Yep.
It's really interestingly played.
Well, I love her counter to it, though. Like, 40 billion people have died because of this. It's one of those needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yep.
Because, if you send them back, they probably will die. But that comes into discussion later.
Yep.
One ship in the here and now is not going to make a difference.
Yep.
One ship back then could make all the difference. So it's a gamble regardless. But you're gambling 125 lives against 40 billion. If you could end this war before it starts.
Yep.
And that's,
Although the problem with that though, is that in a similar way, they should have used Hugh to destroy the Borg.
Yeah.
Because this is the exact same argument. If they had just gone forward in time and seen Wolf 359 or Sector 001 and then Guinan said, this is wrong. We've lost 150,000 people. We should kill Hugh. It's like, okay. That's the problem with this sort of story sometimes.
Christopher Rowland says 125 people versus 40 billion. Yes. Mm-hmm. He put a question mark there. 125 people left aboard the Enterprise C that were alive. And she said that 40 billion have died since this war began. So if you can, sacrifice those 125 to end the war.
But there's the issue, though. It's nowhere near certain.
No, it's not at all.
But I think that, again, we know, like you alluded to, we know later on that Picard knows this war. They know they're going to lose. They know they haven't got anything up their sleeve. And so I think his gut as a commander is no, but he knows way more about the war than anyone else. So he's processing his brain. Okay, it doesn't matter if they get killed. If there's a 1% chance of victory of the war by sacrificing them, I mean, they can't do anything now. So he's slowly, so maybe it's not his gut. Maybe he's just using his tactical brain of, this is like the shot in the dark. We might as well sacrifice these 125 because that is the best chance we've got currently. It's an absolute crapshoot, but it makes no difference to us either way, and they will all sacrifice themselves if they asked to. So I think that probably is the logic in his brain. It's like 1% chance is better than guaranteed loss in 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a percent, you know.
Not a banned account puts in $2.
Thank you.
Section 31 should detonate the charges in Chronos.
Jesus, yeah.
Avenue Pad puts in $5.
Thank you.
Picard's hesitancy is legit.
Yeah.
If they change history, Picard is literally erasing the existence of many
Oh, yeah.
people born in this alternate timeline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's comes up again too other times.
But they never really focus on.
Look at what Janeway did. Look what Admiral Janeway did.
But they can never focus on that. There's too much. It's always about the people lost rather than people not gained. But as we've seen, even in the mirror universe, the same people were born and grew up, even with the timeline being radically different. So you could probably argue with previous evidence that most people will still be born in a similar way and be mostly the same people.
Yeah. Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, probably about right in the Trek universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Demas Alves puts in $10.
No, thank you.
Late to the party as usual. Happy birthday, Samuel. Love the uniforms, gentlemen. Looking great. This is my favorite TNG episode. Gonna rewind now and watch from the beginning. Well, enjoy that beginning because we have a skit.
And I missed your entire bit, so I'm excited to see what the hell you said.
Oh, it's not very good because I was like, you'll see.
I deliberately stay off for an extra minute just to give you more like unknown time because that's what they had at the start as well. Yeah.
Eugene, 250 rubles, not good enough.
Yeah,
that was the quote.
Yeah, but I like the fact that I've managed to put my brain into where he was after that because I was trying to work out why. But yeah, it does make sense once you sort of break it down.
The quote was not good enough. Damn it, not good enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now we're in 10 forward, and I got to give them props. Even the tables and the chairs are different.
Yep. Simpler, less comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a small thing, which I never really noticed until this viewing. But it's totally different furniture in 10 forward.
And behind Guinan, you've lost that lovely monument, mosaic, beautiful thing. Now it's just the ship. Because it's not about beauty or about paintings. It's just, blank wall, add a registry thing. It's great. Really simple, really effective. Which is why this scene plays a little bit odd to me. That basically Castillo... he asked for it earlier. Is he asked for it earlier or is this all after this?
Is he what, sorry?
He asks her out before this. Yeah, he asks her out before this on the bridge was about the shields going up and stuff. And it's like, why are you asking her out? Like, I get the chemistry, but actually asking her on a date. And so in this scene, he's very flirty. Like, it's a little bit of a slight tonal shift because he's all like, well, you know, I know everyone's rank, but you're Lieutenant, you're Tasha, and who are you? I'm Castillo, but Mum calls you Richard. You should call me Richard. Lovely moment, very sentimental. But it's like, bit of a tonal shift to everything else. It's like a really quite soft moment, like very soft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know.
We learn about TKLs, their standard rations in this scene as well.
Because replicator power, gotta use on the weapons.
At a minimum, yeah. Sharp 2026 puts in £5.49.
Thank you.
I really like how Riker shows disdain towards Picard in this timeline. Always makes me wonder what event could have strained their relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I just assume that because it's war, he's seen some shit, and you know he's just not the same man. So, Lookout Tower Radio, £2. Evening, gents. Happy birthday, Samuel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, the whole everyone calls me Castile. My mother calls me Richard.
Yep.
And she's like, okay, Castile. And then, no, it doesn't sound right. I'd rather you call me Richard. It's like, okay.
Mr. Flirt. And now he's clean uniform and clean face. This is a transition point. As they all get slowly more nice.
And let's give credit to Tasha. She looks great here. I love her hairstyle.
Yep. Yeah, well, I tell you what, let's give a credit. Actress name
Denise Crosby.
I mean, if she's not the standout of this episode, for the range, for the last scene, I mean,
she's like, you know, I'm coming back. This is what I could have been.
Yep. If you gave me lines, I could act them well.
I'd feel like such an ass coming back though, like, because she went to do a movie career, and have you seen some of her movies? Or like
Nope.
B movies, and it's like, ugh. Yeah.
But she is really good in this.
Yeah.
I mean,
she must be kicking herself at this point because TNG at season 3 really took off. So
yeah. But also, what a triumphant return. I mean, It in as much as, and this is odd comparison, but Alien is, brilliant but slow and whatever. This is like her Terminator 2. It's like she came back into an infinitely superior piece of work than anything she'd been in by massive leaps and bounds, and she's also amazing in it. So just yeah. But yes, Guinan, confusing. Never seen Guinan rattled before, which means something, because weird. And you don't really think about this, but yeah, first time they've met is in an alternate. Well, no, not the first time they've met. They never met because this is the not the original Guinan. But okay, ignore me. Alternate universes. I got confused.
We're all ignoring you. It's fine. So they leave. We got a cool look from Guinan.
Then we get the brief from shot where it's all close-ups, very tight, no whatevers. Yes. And also they're all on one side of the table, bunched up, because he's briefing them. This is his ready room.
This is his ready room, not a briefing room.
But it's the briefing.
Yeah, for this ship, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's such a nice, listen, you sit here, listen to me. Close-ups, everyone's annoyed, I love it. Yeah.
So here we find out they'll be outmanned and outgunned. And then Geordi's like, unless we give them new weapons, and we can't do that. That'll alter the past. We're not going to alter the past. We're going to restore the past. I forget who asked, but somebody says, how can Guinan know if she's been changed along with us?
I think it was Riker, probably.
Probably, yeah. And yeah, because Riker, there's a lot of friction between Picard and Riker in this scene.
Yeah.
Picard
shoots him down. Well, without Worf to shoot down, he has to shoot down Riker.
Yeah. She has a perception that goes beyond linear time. The possibility is too grave to ignore.
Yep.
So he's kind of made up his mind, and Riker jumps in and says, if you'd like my opinion, I'm well aware of your opinion.
So shut up.
This is a briefing. I'm not seeking your consent. You're asking them to die in a meaningless death. And then Klingons hold honor above all else. It would be considered a meaningful act of honor by the Klingon Empire for the ship to sacrifice itself to save a Klingon outpost. So, yeah, that's that scene in a nutshell. But the way Riker is like, would you like my opinion? And no, I'm well aware of your opinion. It's quite good.
You get the sense that the leader, the captain, the head role in the war, he has to be far more stern, powerful, in charge. And Riker is maybe even Riker doesn't want the war. Maybe Riker's more against war, and he's having to butt up against Picard all the time, who just is like, well, my responsibility is to save people and to be this. And Riker, I know you don't want to fight. We're fighting.
Maybe Picard has turned him down for getting his own captaincy.
That's true.
In this universe, to hold on to him for some reason. Maybe that's what some of the resentment.
Yeah. But I really like how this is shot, how it's just so differently shot. And you really do, these close-ups, you get to feel the color difference. They feel closed, they feel less. It's very effective, and it shows you how that dip makes a difference. But also, I love how of all the characters, they all feel a little bit different. Data feels the same.
Yeah.
I really appreciate he was exactly the same.
Yeah.
I like Data.
Jarzia, $5.
Thank you.
Trisha O'Neill plays Garrett, who is killed by Klingons in this episode, and then goes on to play a Klingon later in TNG and a Cardassian on DS9.
Oh.
Sweet.
I'll have to look that up.
Go for it. Anyway, they leave the ready room, and they're having... LaForge and Beverly are having a conversation. If she's right, how do we even know if we're dead or alive if things get changed?
Well, no, she says a weird line first about something about parallel timeline. Like, how do we know theirs isn't the wrong timeline? I was like,
yeah.
I don't know what she was trying to say. And then the better line.
Yeah.
Alive or dead.
They're just having a discussion, right?
Well, they're venting, honestly.
Yeah. And then Tasha kind of looks a little concerned at that point. Then she gets in the turbo lift with Data, and he's going to engineering, and he asked her if she's going to engineering as well, because she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
She goes, "No, sorry, I'm just thinking about an officer in the Enterprise C. I like him." And then Data basically says, if we are successful, we will not even be aware that these events have occurred.
She should. She should have been. Yes, and he's probably fully functional, unlike you. Wah wah.
Oh.
So in this timeline, Sung Chu is not making fully functional. But this is the only scene they got together. Also, these are two more connected characters. I'm glad they got something. It kind of feels forced. Like okay, where do we give them something? Okay, here. There's almost a slight tension between them. You know, like they've still done stuff in this universe. Because wouldn't that have been a nice touch if they'd actually been in a sort of relationship and it not gone well? And Data's like, if you'd like my advice, don't want advice from ex-boyfriend. Very well then. Like, you know, a small thing would have been kind of fun. And just for interest's sake, so Garrett plays the Klingon in the episode where there's lots of scientists and Beverly's dealing with them, and there's like a Vulcan and a Dum. She's a Klingon lady. Where the guy is like a cloak tech something. And she plays a Cardassian in, I believe, the episode. Oh yes, when Riker takes over the Defiant in the war room. She's one of those people. So yeah. Cool.
Kevin Scott, 76, puts in $2.
Thank you.
What do y'all think of the SpaceX uniforms? They look all right.
They're growing on me, but I don't know.
Yeah, they don't feel like space suits.
Yeah.
I like the helmets. Not a band account puts in $2. In this timeline, is Klingon Mother still leading? Oh, ha. Nah. What? We'll just ignore that.
I mean, to be fair, the Klingons could look like Discovery Klingons. Wouldn't that have been a nice touch if they remastered this in 2020? Retcon, have a view screen shot of like, what's his name? Gareth, the other Klingon chap, Core, be like, you know, yeah, Captain, we are come to get you there. It's like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, nice shot of the Enterprise C. Looks good. Although you can actually see the reflective plastic of the registry.
The decal, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that myself.
But yeah, the bridge is absolutely tip-top. Everyone is looking great. The LCOs are all working. It's a very happy bridge. Except some of the consoles aren't working. And some scoring. But it's still the same.
And the shields are up to 72%.
Yeah, it's real fixed. Real fixed. Yeah.
She's like, why doesn't your ship come back with us? You know, with both of us and your advanced weaponry. I can't do that. She's like, no, I suppose you can't.
That bit, I love this dialogue, but that I thought was so weird. You should come with us. I can't. Yeah, you're right.
That was for the audience. That might be asking the same question.
But it was so disconnected. Like he had his line delivery was appalling on Patrick's part. Like he should be, you know, I can't, Captain. I wish I could. Like something. It was just a shitty part of the scene. Then it goes to be amazing. I just thought that was a really bad line read for whatever reason. And the thing is, bad stands out in amazing. Yeah. Contrast. We always say contrast. You know.
Yeah, and she says a significant number of my crew have expressed a desire to return, even knowing the odds.
Yep.
The war is. This is where he says the war is going very badly for the Federation.
And he does look around first. He actually has genuinely
far worse than is generally known.
Yep.
Starfleet Command believes that defeat is inevitable. Within 6 months, we will have no choice but to surrender. So one more ship in the here and now won't make a difference. But one ship protecting a Klingon outpost could put a stop to this war before it even begins.
Yep. And it's a beautifully delivered line. It's cold yet relatable, captain to captain. He's
got a lot on his mind because he knows this. He knows what Starfleet's situation is, and I get the feeling that just the captains know. That the crews still think there's something to fight for.
Yep.
And
Riker does not know.
There's a lot weighing on his mind for sure.
Yeah, and do you see what I mean about Patrick? The grooves in his face, all the lines look thicker. They look darker. It's
lighting.
But I think it's absolutely makeup too. Like just these ones, Like, they're not really that harsh, and this is actually one of the brightest scenes. This is because Enterprise C lighting. This is Prime Universe. Still harsher lines. But yeah.
Jarzia, though, $5.
Thank you.
Would have been awesome if the Klingons boarded the Enterprise and Data in this timeline went all IG-11 with retractable wrist phasers.
Yeah.
Took them out. Kind of neat.
I like it.
So Garrett says, Mr. Castile, inform the crew that we are going back, because that speech from Picard said, let her know that's exactly what she has to do. The Romulans will get a good fight. Then Castile's talking to Tasha, and he's like, if you see a man across the room in his late 50s taking a good hard look, hey, you never know.
Which is then, again, makes you think, so all of your friends were 30, now they're 50. You wouldn't recognise them, would you? Jackass. But briefly, this MSD, though, I know it's not a Probert C, but that's not Andy. That's not Sternbuck C. That graphic's been stretched. Those proportions are not correct.
Yeah, it has. It's been squashed, I think.
Yeah,
not stretched. It's just squashed.
But it looks more like Andy's. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, it has been squashed.
But yes, very, very random and abrupt attack. It's weirdly abrupt, actually.
Yep.
And this is when I think the bridge suffers, because you see how small it is, and in the long shot you can tell, oh, it's just a redress. There's nothing unique about it at all, and it feels cheap, because we've seen this so many times, and even so much as we've seen the back half of the room as other sets, like 4 times this season, and all they've done is they've added the rating back, and because there's nothing in front of them, so it's just half a set. So I think this is where this episode, like, I remember specifically this episode feeling, they've got the sea bridge. And here I thought, they didn't do any effort at all for the sea bridge. It's just the same set with that, you know what I mean? I was kind of disappointed this time round, how just crap it looked for what it, like, there was no effort put in.
I like it.
But it looks the same as the Stargazer, like, I was expecting a bit more with this one.
Samuel Ray puts in $2. Forgotten Guinan that introduced prune juice to Worf. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, Klingon ship comes in and attacks. Yes. And there's an explosion, and the insulation rocks.
And you can see this is the only close-up of the actual things I've added to the corridor pieces to close them up. Don't know why.
It's not the only shot. There was one that when she was going in the triple lift with the Data, which actually was a clearer shot.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
very clear. Yeah, one cavort with wings up. First time seeing a bird of... Well, it's the first time seeing a cavort with wings up. It's the first time seeing a cavort. But they do mention it's a cavort. So we do, unlike every other time birds of prey, they're kind of inconsistent. This is a different class of bird of prey.
Well, no, they don't mention this is a cavort. They say bird of prey for this one. They say 3 cavort battle cruisers later.
Oh, well, I assume they're all cavort.
Yeah, I know, but I made sure to note that.
Okay, that's true. But this one takes a hit. Anyway, but it was very random, and I guess the shields weren't down for Enterprise C. So why were they so damaged if the shields were up?
Don't know, but anyway, she dies.
It's stupidly abrupt. It really is. It doesn't quite work. And also, with the bird of prey beams away, they stop firing as they fire while they're cloaking. You could disable a ship instantly if they just keep firing. Darn it! Fire them phases. But yeah, Garrett is dead. It's
shrapnel to the head.
It's really gruesome, actually. I've always remembered this. It's simple as well. It's just like a thing to the head.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much.
And then we get Castile, who comes in and says, "I'm prepared to take the Enterprise back myself, sir." Riker's like, he's the last surviving officer. He'll have limited assistance at tactical and whatever. Yeah, and then we find out that there's actually an instability in the rift now due to the weapons fire. Due to the weapon fire.
Gotta go back now or never.
Mm-hmm.
This hasn't got a comm badge on, Castile. Maybe the comm badge is a sign of command. Because he's not wearing it any of the episode, except at the end when he uses it. When he's suddenly acting captain.
Good point.
Maybe. Because that feels like a deliberate choice if you've not worn it for 100% of your scenes until 1.
Yeah.
It's very strange. I wonder if his rank pips are different. I doubt they will be, but I wonder.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yes, brave man. He wants to go back knowing it will mean death. And he probably hasn't been like given the mission, like the reason by Garrett. Do you think? Do you think she told everyone why they're going back, or do they have to?
They didn't have time, so no.
Yeah. So he's brave. Brave and foolish, but brave.
And Jarzia puts in $2 and says, "Damn those standard issue console rocks." Yes.
But
they weigh the ship down.
I was going to fly off into the sun, yeah. Gravity, man, you got to weigh it down, otherwise gravity would just be too broad. That's how gravity works, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Good.
So they say their kind of goodbye in the transporter room, and they get a kiss. And he beams off all heroically.
Yes.
And she goes to see Guinan.
Yes. But did you like the kiss? I mean, it
it's all right. It's a kiss. Who cares? Anyway, and she goes to see
the whole scene. I like the fact that it feels very mutual because he sort of half kisses, like half moves in, and she absolutely does the rest of the way. And obviously, you know, this is very much he's being given a second chance to say the last goodbye. And he's like, this time I'm just committing. You know, this is actually the last time. So I actually kind of like that. It's quite sweet. But yes, then Guinan.
Tash asks, "What happens to me in the alternate timeline?" She's like, "Well, I don't have biographical information on all the crew.
Yeah.
Something happens to me, though. I can see it in your eyes. We've known each other for far too long. We weren't meant to know each other at all. Tasha, you died. I don't know how, but I do know it was an empty death, a death without purpose." So, yeah.
I'm surprised she knows that, because that's a lot of extra sense.
It is, yeah.
But it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And to hear that, especially as she's grown up, she said she joined the academy from the academy to this ship, so she was born in this timeline just before the sea, so she's only grown up in war. Assuming the war was right after the sea, she's probably known war for at least 10 years of her life, if not 15, right? And so therefore duty and what you die for is quite important if you're living a war this long. So the fact that she's hearing it means nothing, and this is from the woman who is sending the crew back. You know, this woman must have power. You know, it's like shit. Well, that's crap. But what a beautiful time paradox to send yourself back to other as paradoxes go. That's so clever. And she makes a decision almost now. But yeah, it's a hard scene to watch. Hard scene to watch.
Jeff, not good enough. Damn it. Jacobs puts in $2. 250 likes. We can get to our 300. Our efforts will prevail. Yes, guys, hit the like button if you haven't. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, 253. I mean, come on. 260. Oh, there we go. 253 likes, 263 watching. If we can't get 300 likes on YouTube right now, like literally, I guarantee 40 of you have not clicked like. It's an easy button to press. You just press it. If you can't super chat, liking is important. Those help the analytics. Come on, 256. I want to see 300. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
So she goes to see the captain and get an entry log by J.L. Picard on the screen. That's all numbers, so it must be encrypted.
Encrypted, yeah. Weird choice, that. I was hoping it'd be words we could read it, like some cool lost memoir, but not so much.
She was requesting a transfer to the Enterprise C. He's like, for what reason?
Well, no, long pause. I love his pauses of like, what? I love his disbelief here.
Well, he says to her, what did she tell you?
Yeah.
They need someone on tactical. Well, we need you here. I'm not supposed to be here, sir. I'm supposed to be dead. You don't belong on that ship.
Yep.
And she's like, well, there's a certain logic in this request. There's no logic in this at all. She says, at least with someone at tactical, they'll have a chance to defend themselves. Well, I want my death to mean something. And he's like, well, you know, you could go on to live a long life, if this doesn't change anything here, and you will be missed. But
Yeah.
he ends up granting her permission. So
Yeah. No, it's good. It's sad because all she's saying is, I mean, she's saying, "Can I go commit suicide, but die?" No, but can I go commit suicide in the way of my choosing? You know, we're all gonna die. We're probably gonna die in this war. We're in a bad situation. Let me go out, you know, as a blaze of glory, and with a guy she kind of fancies. You know, I mean, we all try and kiss at midnight on the you know January 1st. So if you can kiss at the moment of being destroyed by a Klingon torpedo, just as romantic. You know, that torpedo comes in Chang. So as that torpedo comes to the view screen, you just grab each other and kiss, then blow up. See, magical. That's what it is, right?
sure.
So now we have Castillo. He's got the same rank, but he's now got a comm badge, and he clicks it. That's the wrong side. Clicks it. Comm badges exist.
And that wasn't necessary. He's on the bridge. He could just open a communications channel because he says basically we're getting ready to go back, everybody. So for him to do that, they made a conscious choice to make that a comm badge.
Yep.
And so the first comm badges were the Rathacon style.
Yeah, I love that detail. It's so small, and you do miss it if you don't think about it.
And we're not saying that the comm badges or the badges in Star Trek 2 are actually comm badges because they're not yet.
No.
They eventually become the same badge just with the comm badge feature. So we're not, because somebody's going to take our words the wrong way.
They said those guys on Trekyards, they said that they had the Rathacon, that they had comm badges.
I would assume that they were new with Enterprise C. It was the first run.
Yeah.
You know, where they pioneered new technology. But it's such a deliberate choice because now he has a comm badge. Like, that's a deliberate choice. And now I'm double backing. One nice thing, because this is the first time we've seen this uniform out of Star Trek 2. So we see it later
2 or
on.
3. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know.
But we
2,
haven't.
Probably.
But I mean, we haven't seen Jack Crusher. We haven't seen Young Picard. We haven't seen anyone else yet, right? I don't think we have.
Don't think so.
So actually, I just realized by losing the turtleneck, this links the fact that the first season of TNG is very open necky.
Yeah.
So there is actually a direct link. If you break that down, it just looks more daft. So there is actually something there. And obviously the comm badge. So of all things they could do, those two things were actually a thing.
Yeah. Erevik Sonder puts in $5. Her death meant something against that alien already. Well, he killed her just to make a point, so it didn't really mean anything.
Yes. And Shelf Warmer says, so at one point there were 2 Tashiars walking around, well, for actually quite a while she was young and near rape gangs in her home planet when she was in her, first 6 or 7 years of life, and then she was captured, and then she was in sex slavery, and then married a Romulan, and then died at some point. So yeah, actually for probably about 10, 15 years she was, yeah. 2 of her.
SWTX Chaser, $2.
Thank you.
Must be the command dongle for the C. Maybe, that's why he's got it now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Wouldn't even go against that, yeah.
Stephen W. Fathry, $5.
Hey, Stephen.
I love the Ambassador class ever since I built the 1/1400 scale C model 20 years ago. I love it so much. I built another one and used the Yamaguchi decals. Yeah, I hated the Ambassador class until I built the model. Then it's one of my favorite ships now. I love it.
Very fancy. And last thing, I think also the reason they're also using the comm badge is because they can't do computer. Like, there's no automatic computer communication system.
But he's on the bridge. Hit a goddamn button before.
This is quicker.
Hit a button. He's right in front of the panel when he turns around. Hit a button, turn around, and say bridge, or have the hailing sound, and then.
But what if he's simple? What if he's at tactical? Or
who gives a shit? There's got to be a comm button on every panel.
But it's right there. That's the point. It's a personal unit. It's easy. And he just got the comm badge after 7 years on this ship. He just allowed a comm badge finally. He wants to use it.
What actually happened was Geordi was like, "I gotta give you some of that tech, man." The captain said no, but check this shit out. I turned this badge into a comm badge, man. Sick, man. Olivia Julius, $5. Good news. The alternate universe comes with built-in seatbelts for the battles. Oh, because of... JW Powell's Rock puts in $5. Yeah. So James puts in $5. One of the best episodes of TV. At work, can't stay on the chat. Just popped in to say hi. And since Samuel took my super chat cherry, thought I'd donate. That sounds dirty.
Thank you. Thanks, appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Never talk to me again. Yeah, and none of the other crewmen have the badges either. Even the
they don't.
lower ranks. No, because I noticed the one guy earlier that was slumped over in the chair dead when they first beamed on. He didn't have one. So it's like they're a commodity. There's only one on the ship.
So there can only be one. Because that's an intentional choice. That must be. I've never noticed that before. We should talk to someone about that worked on TNG, because that's really strange, actually.
Yeah.
Huh, okay. But yes, she's coming along,
like,
and he's like, no, and she's like, yes.
You here. Yes. He's like, all right, cool. Maybe I can get a quickie in before. Dreamer out there puts in $2. Why all the weird sex stuff with Tasha's story? What weird sex stuff?
I said the sex gang thing.
Well, I know,
and the sex slave with the Romulan. Well, because she was...
It's not like we're making it up. It's all...
Yeah. She became pregnant by a Romulan dude and then had to stay with him and then had a child, and it's just the thing.
Stelio Contos says, no, she married the Romulan dude.
Yes.
Yeah, but she was a consort for a while.
Yeah. It's not like she fell in love with him in a nice, gentle prison, but, it wasn't very nice, and then it became okay, and then she chose to leave, try and get her daughter out, and then they killed her, and then blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Wasn't nice. But yes, then they're going to go back.
The captain's chair is the old, I think it's the old
Season 1
card chair.
Yep, they used it on the other for the peak. Yeah, well, no, peak performance, that one.
Oh yeah, the Hathaway.
Yeah, so it's an old chair. So in fact, right, Picard got brand new ship, 30-year-old chair.
Yeah,
sure, why not? But yeah, the Enterprise is a great maneuver, and we see a few times actually, but as in later on. But it's a nice thing to see, and I love the scale here. The Enterprise C is not big, it's not small.
Yeah,
but it's the D is big. I think it was a good choice in scale.
So we find out there's 3 Cavort battle cruisers on the way.
And they're not
even bothering to cloak themselves.
Love that line.
Riker's like, they shouldn't be so confident after the trouncing we gave them on Archer 4. We could outrun... Oh.
Well, Stuart, there's no Jonathan Archer yet. So that's like, what's that a reference to?
Yeah, I don't know. They named Archer after this, so it's fine.
Oh, maybe, sure. Oh, maybe.
But yeah, Picard's like, well, as you all know, we could outrun the Klingon ships.
Yep.
But we must protect the Enterprise C until they enter the temporal rift. Not anomaly, rift. And we must succeed. Let's make sure that history never forgets the name Enterprise.
It's the line, and you didn't quite get a moment where I can cut to him looking good, but that's okay. Oh well.
I didn't?
Nope, he looks a bit grumpy and weird.
He looks like an old man with no teeth.
Don't forget names. Kalish! I mean, Enterprise!
Sorry.
But you can see in this shot, again, the fact that the bridge, the capture is so much higher up, really changes the vibe. It changes all the shooting patterns, and no, I really like it.
Dial3N, $10.
Oh, thank you.
I want to be in the alternate timeline where Denise Crosby never quit, and she was given lines. She is brilliant, although I am more a fan of season 1. Her hair coif.
Oh, coif. Queef, yeah.
Queef is not a good word, but okay.
Thing is, she can act great, but Worf is also more interesting, because they had no plan for Denise, clearly. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? She didn't do anything because she had nothing to do. She can act it, but, it's a shame. Worf had a lot more longevity and potential, but thank you, that's a brilliant super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Number 1 special puts in $5. It's his only damn use of the captain's badge before he dies. Captain is the only one who needs to be kept up with. Does not have to look for the hail comm. I mean, it's actually funny because right before they go through the rift, he says, "So-and-so, you're on comms." I'm like, who the fuck do you need? Why do you need somebody on comms? Put him on something important. who are they going to communicate with? They're going to hail the Romulans. Don't shoot at us. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, but it's just standard procedure, isn't it?
It is, but it's annoying.
But it's not as if there's any scientists doing any science, so everyone has a, you know. Yeah.
Diathran throws in $10.
Oh, thank you.
Also, Whoopi in this episode. Oh my God, what an effortless pro!
Yes.
And as a foil for Stewart, such golden TNG. Thane Alexander puts in $5
Thank
with
you.
message retracted. So.
Well, thanks anyway.
Species 8470 puts in $2. Should have separated the ship for the battle. Everybody loves to say that. Why don't they separate the ship?
Well, shall we get into that in about 4 minutes?
Nah.
So yeah, Cavorts come in, pew 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 pew.
Lots of pew pew pew
Lots
pew.
of pew pew, lots of ing as well. Lots of tactical, bit of reuse shots. I mean, I think it's fair to say the battle is one of the weaker elements of this episode because they just couldn't do very much.
Yeah.
While the shots are nice, the fact that Picard says hold fire, it's like you should be firing every second.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you're getting hit and not shooting back, you're dying closer to getting died more. There's no, like, he has basically no strategy in this battle. There's no plan. They don't. It's not a very good battle. And the fact that the Dead Space doesn't really move and they're trying a lot, but it doesn't come off very well, unfortunately. But there's only so much you can do with miniatures, and they do a lot, but it's nowhere near enough for sort of effect.
Yeah. Well, the Klingons try flanking them to get for one to go after the Enterprise C, so the Enterprise keeps putting itself in the way.
Yep.
And then we get antimatter containment field failing.
Yep.
2 minutes until warp core breach.
Yep. It also goes from 1 to 100. It's like, what?
Yep.
You were full everything, and now you're going to die in 2 minutes. Wow.
Welcome to the Galaxy class, guys. The glass cannon of the Federation.
But it also feels a bit weird. I mean, there's nothing in between. It's not even like it's a lucky hit. It's like, oh, I guess that was the luckiest hit ever. At least a Burrell took 45 hits, like shots. So Cavort took 16. So it's a bit not good. And he didn't need the Enterprise D to be destroyed, or almost destroyed in this episode for it to be effective. You didn't need the warp core shit. You didn't. And then at that point you should separate, because then otherwise you will all die. At that point it's not a battle situation. It's just a case of, well, if you separate,
they're going to die regardless. If they separate, they don't have warp drive, and you still have 2 Klingon cruisers. They're going to destroy you regardless. You're dead. So.
But you might live longer and can fire more weapons. I mean, use a star drive as a weapon. I mean, it's just weird to accept death after being absolutely fine, because it does change the battle for me when you realise Picard. Well, it changes it in 2 ways. One, it makes it seem way weirder because Picard is sacrificing his own ship to save the past. But that means that when he says Garrett to go back,
well, there's no repercussions from his decision. Then either they succeed or they fail.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
But he doesn't know that. That's the thing. Everything he's doing is purely on faith of Guinan and of the fact that the timeline reset. They don't know that, and if there's an alternate universe situation, he's still going to die and feel pain. His family's still going to die. Whatever. Anyway, but the second way of looking at that is that he was willing to sacrifice his own ship for Garrett to sacrifice her own ship. And so I'm wondering if Garrett saw that in his eyes, because he wasn't just saying it like, we'll defend you and then run away. No, we're gonna kill 1,000 people, maybe 4,000 people, whatever, to save your crew to get back to die. Like, I will put my money where my mouth is. Like, the fact that he goes there is really brave and dark, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the Galaxy class, what a shitty ship in this timeline. It can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, Thane Alexander puts in $5 and says, this is one of the issues in this episode. Let's just fire 1 phaser blast at a time at 3 Klingon ships. Forget 7 other phaser strips. Oh, and who needs torpedoes? Well, they do fire torpedoes, and they do blow up 1 ship.
Yep.
So they kind of even the odds a little bit, but...
It's a pretty weak battle.
That's before the warp issue, the reactor issue, that they destroy the ships.
But I think they actually added this pylon, the venting one, because I'm pretty sure that's a new addition, so they could have a venting thing.
Oh, probably.
Because I mean, if it's an alternate time, they can do whatever you want. I don't remember that being normally there, but it's got vents, so I think that's Yeah, already there. And I like how Data, there's a moment where they're like, phaser strips are down, reroute. I can't. And there's no acting. He's just so calm. It's like, they're all just sitting here. It's like, can't do anything, sir. Because he says no, not responsive. It's like, well, you're Data, you're the smartest guy in the world. Why are you sitting there? Well, I won't try and do anything, sir, until you order me. We're going to get killed if... Okay, I'll just sit here, sir. Yep, just waiting to die. But they're not the focus. They can't really do a full scene because it doesn't matter, you know? Eh. Like, Geordie barely even does anything to try and save the ship, really. Like, yeah. But it's not about the D crew, is it? You know?
No. And then again, Riker's stuntman gets killed. Riker's stuntman's got a chubby face, just saying.
Hey, he's pretty good considering.
Yeah.
And that is a graphic neck wound.
Yep.
And I was surprised. This is in the trailer.
And they damaged the uniform to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. But considering this is a PG show, showing this in the trailer back in the 80s, what a ballsy thing to do. I mean, that's, yeah.
Stakes are high.
Yeah.
But Picard, he just leaps over the back rail and takes command and starts firing.
Yep.
So, gotta love that.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
The ship is literally, although forward power emitters are down, and yet he fires forward phasers. Well, we assume forward phasers. I mean, I guess they could turn, but they fire phasers by saying phasers are no longer operational. But whatever. I was expecting torpedoes. But I love how no one has a, like, it goes down just to him. Like, he's not ordering Wesley, he's not ordering the crew, he's not even saying anything, not abandon ship. He, like, gives up on everything apart from the... Like, this is the tactical war Picard. I don't care about my crew right now. I'm just going to try and shoot them. Because if everyone dies, who the hell cares right now? These people need to survive. So I'll fire phasers to give them 10 more seconds. But my crew's going to die. It's like, no. Okay. Boo.
And Shannon Nash throws in $10.
Oh, wow.
Regardless of the timeline, a bird of prey takes out the D.
Yeah. Three ships, yeah.
Eugene, 250 rubles.
Thank you.
Due to budget shortages, only Riker dies. The script has more death scenes, including beheading of Wesley.
Oh, wow. Damn. You didn't need more than one death, though.
No.
It was enough. I mean, this is where this could have been a two-parter. That would have been, you know, considering how much effort they put into one part. Imagine the scale of part 2 if you'd done that. And I like the fact that this attacks a D. They've got no shields on, and you can tell it hits the hull. It would have been nice to have some scoring in the remastered version, like give it some damage. It kind of feels a little bit, you know. But it is like, that ship is not going to survive. Yeah. Pew pew, you know. And
the Enterprise C slips through the rift.
Very slowly, but it's okay. And then
the anomaly is closing in on itself. It turns around and Worf's there. It's like, yeah. What was that? For a second, there was another ship, but it's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's leave a Class 1 probe and keep an eye on this. Lay in a course for Archer 4. The second reference to Archer 4. And then before they leave, Guinan messages the bridge. Is everything all right up there? Guinan? Yes, everything's fine. Why? Oh, just wondering.
They're like, should never talk to the bridge. What?
Yeah. And sits down with Geordi, who's wearing his the wrong uniform, and says, "So, tell me about Cashiar." And Geordi's like, "What?"
But I've heard the story about this scene, is that this was like one of the last things they filmed at really late at night, and he was just in the uniform. Because considering she's the only one that says anything, you know what I mean? They just pulled him from another scene quickly to film it. I was the entire diatribe there.
It's the one little stain on this like almost perfect episode.
Genuine production gaff.
Yep.
Yeah. But Stuart, are you telling me that the universe has returned to normal?
Yep. Oh, are you disappearing now? Don't disappear. No. Oh, he's taking off his uniform. That's dirty. I guess I should turn my lights on. So, yeah, we have returned to normal existence now, and everything's good. Just ignore my lighting. My lighting's fine, just because.
Hi, Stuart.
To have it. Oh,
hi, buddy. I thought we were doing a review today. What happened? It's
you
like
missed it. You're late.
It's 11:07. Well, no, you weren't here. You were somewhere else because I tried to go live and you were not here.
I was here. I did the whole thing by myself.
I'm gonna have to go back and see because I'm disappointed.
Yeah, you should.
You know.
I mean, we got a super chat just now from SWTX Chaser, $2. Starfleet could invest in plumbers for coolant leaks. And Olivia Julius, $2. Trekyards Strip Club.
Nope. Not a band account. Let us watch. No. It's only for Stuart.
Shirtless Foley next. No. So yeah, that's yesterday's Enterprise.
Yeah, let me just swap back to the thumbnail.
I mean, I should technically go turn the lights on so that it looks like standard operating procedure here, but I'm not going to because I like this lighting.
We're silly. We are a silly set of people.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, extra bit of special, guys. I hope. And hey, you guys rewarded us with super chats.
So, guys,
and we had fun.
Now it's time for you guys to put in your scores for this episode for season 3 and all of TNG. Super chat them. I'll read the super chat ones. Put regular ones in the chat. Samuel will read those.
Yes.
Excuse me.
And we'd love to see an extra. We'll say it. $50. Combine $50. So 5 fives or 10 fives would be great. 5 tens or 10 fives. And I want to see 300 likes. We're at 285. Come on.
Well, we can get 15 likes. Come on. 15 of you of those 249 people that are out there haven't hit like. So somebody hit like if you haven't, please. Let's get those up.
I'm challenging you all. $50.
All right, guys. I mean, this is one of my favorite episodes. This is, I think, one of the pinnacle episodes of all of Star Trek. This one really holds up. You get to see 2 Enterprises, 2 Enterprise captains, some really great action, great dialogue. Almost every character shines except for Deanna. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic episode.
But before you give a score, though, how do you feel in any way based on now going through it for Trekyards and then this review with me? Because I'm sure I've never talked about in this depth or looked at this depth with anyone else. Any new thoughts or any different thoughts or any just anything? Because this is, you know, one of the big ones.
Well, I mean, even as we were doing the review, which you weren't a part of, I noticed things in the pictures as far as either mistakes or deliberate choices for the costuming and stuff, which is interesting. Which, considering the amount of times I've seen this and not noticed that, that's what I love about these reviews. They really make us look, you know, deeper than surface layer. That's why I love sharing it with you guys as well, because it generates conversation and points out things that you might not have noticed. So other than that, no, I mean, it's a fantastic episode. It holds up, and as far as the minutia of it, I didn't get anything really new out of it this time. Just a few of those production things which were on screen for a second, and I've never screen capped before to look at. But they're a bigger piece of the puzzle, and it makes me appreciate the episode even more, in all honesty. So,
and the fact that we found anything is good, you know.
Yeah. So as for my scores, this is a 10 out of 10 for season 3.
Okay.
And a 9.98 for all of TNG. The only reason it's not a 10 for all of TNG is because of the production error at the end with Geordi's uniform, which might have been a deliberate Easter egg. Is like, hey, look at one of the most popular episodes. Look, there's a mistake in it. Can you find it? You know, and that's one I didn't even notice for the longest time.
Oh, yeah. So
it was pointed out like a few years ago, and I'm like, what? So I went back and looked, and it's like,
There was definitely 4 Trekyards that was pointed out to me.
Yeah. Those are my scores.
Because if you don't notice the collars, the cuffs, you wouldn't notice it. Because they're really subtle.
Yeah.
They really are. It's such a nice touch. Yeah.
So those are my scores. What are your scores?
Well, I read some super chats. It's fine in between. Because people are
Eugene.
just throwing them in, so I want to bring them back up.
You're just hedging your bets and hearing everybody else's score before you give your score. It's fine. Eugene, 500 rubles. 10 out of 10, easy. The script of this episode is a mix of 2 stories. The first was Enterprise C story without alternate timeline. The other was alternate timeline with Sarek going back in time to become Surak to fix it. Wow. Olivia Julius, $5. 4.5 out of 5, taking points off for lack of fertilizer. As
all great shows should have points taken off.
Yes. Tenchi 2K7, $5. 10 out of 10 for season 3, and 10 out of 10 for TNG. Good Tea, Nice House, $5. Did they ever explain where this anomaly came from in Trek lore? What if we find out Discovery in the future is responsible? Would you be mad?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
It doesn't need a why. It was a random occurrence. It really doesn't. You know, it happened. Things happen, you know?
Hjalti Sigurdsson, I think. 9.75 out of 10, both season 1 and TNG. Jarzia, $5. Regular rating system won't cut it. Top 10 TNG, top 50 for all of Trek. Only the Defector and perhaps Best of Both Worlds beat it out for season 3. Amazing classic episode. I don't think the Defector beats this.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Best of Both Worlds, part 1 or both. It's hard to say. Both probably would beat it. But
yeah, I'll go into that in my review. I've got thoughts on that.
Yeah. Dosso 1 puts in £2.
Thank you.
Probably 10 out of 10, to be honest. Much love for Trekyards. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Squadra Course, $2. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 3. Monkey face. There you go. There's some of the super chat scores.
So yeah, this is a tricky one because its quality is glaringly good, and what you look at for an episode is interesting. And I want to bring up, like I said, Best of Both Worlds. You know, when I think of all good things, I think more fondly than this one, right? But this one is a one-parter with a lot less money and a lot more achieved, a lot more attention to detail, a lot more small things. So in the sense that, you know, Best of Both Worlds is a big epic, but it has some slowdown, but there's a lot of effort and money. This is a grand epic with no slowdown, with lots of, you know, so it should be better than Best of Both Worlds because of what it achieves with what's given and the ambition. You know what I mean? By that sort of logic. So I'm trying to make it in my brain. Same with Measure of a Man. Great episode, but I mean it's one sort of great episode. This is a very, this is very this. I certainly enjoy this one more. I think technically it's shot better. It's more effort put in. You know what I mean? That one's written better, sure, but it's a really simple episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Defector won't even put in that in the same category, although it's very clever. Best of Both Worlds. If you edit it down to 1 hour, probably better than this, but it's not. It's 2 hours with some not as good bits. But you remember it for the best moments. But it's not all best moments. It really isn't.
Yeah.
But this, yeah.
And this one's paced perfectly.
Yeah.
As far as an episode
pretty much
goes.
Yeah, and that's rare. Like even the end, because it's all built up to the end, the quick turnaround, it works. One of the few that has worked so far. It just works great. So I think you've got to review it in that context as well, because it's also just a piece of TV. You know, it's achieving so much, and again, the amount of effort put in is so tangible. It kind of reminds me of Into Mirror Darkly, of how much effort put in. You know what I mean? For the amount of production brought back.
Yeah.
And also enjoyment factor, like I said. So this is, certainly a 10 out of 10 for this season. It's the best of this season, because again, one part as well. But I'm trying to think, if this is one of the best of TNG, does it get a 10 for all TNG? Because you can have several 10s for TNG, that's fine. Yeah. Any problems with it don't diminish the quality of the piece at all. That's the nice thing about it. And it's so high, because this is a much cleaner 10 out of 10 than other 10 out of 10s. You know?
Yeah, that's why I should make mine a 10 out of 10.
That's what I mean. It because of just that, if you can only have 4 10s of TNG, this has got to be one of those 10s, irrespective of its own quality. Maybe for all of television it'll be less because of the production faults, but TNG is not a perfect subject matter, and you got to think. So I'm going to have to say 10 out of 10 for TNG, because it is absolutely one of the best.
I'm going to change mine to 10 as well.
You know, and normally it'd be the other way around, wouldn't it? You'd be saying it, and I would be whatevering it. But I think you've got to, and we both I think gave Measure of Man 9 out of 10. While great, the amount of quality in this is just that other level. You know,
the sets, the amount of attention to detail for the uniforms, the sets.
And this was the first time they brought those uniforms back, so that's special again. You know, they hadn't done that yet. I mean, if we're only allowed to say 5 10 out of 10s for TNG, you'd obviously think of this one.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this would still be in the top 10 of all Trek, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, bit of a cop out there, but a 2 10s and a 2 10s. I think it is in the top.
I never thought you'd give it a 2 10s, but
that's the thing. The problems do not matter in this one because it is. I mean, even just the simple script moments are expertly done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Crassus throws in £5 and
Thank
says,
you.
if only the Enterprise had launched all shuttles, work bees, and tactical pods in the battle.
5,000.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 for season 3, 8 out of 10 for TNG.
Well, the thing is, actually, just to jump in, this would be a great one because I've talked about this to you before, doing like TOS remastered, doing a little crowdfunder, doing like a couple of episodes. What would I do? This would be an episode that if you were to extend the battle to a real battle, that might jump the quality up even more. Up the scope, have some movements. Whenever they say a maneuver, show it. Have phasers blaring, have more ships destroyed, like rebuild the battle from ground up. Might give it the extra, oomph it needs. Because you got to think of the time. All TNG is still of the time. You can't say it's not a great sage battle at the end. Well, all of TNG has that. That's the thing. That's just TNG in general. There isn't many battles that are really good in TNG because they couldn't really make them. Yeah.
Jeff, Jill is my hero. Jacobs, $2, 300 likes. Yes, 9.975 out of 10 across the board. TNG, TNG 3 Trek. What? Okay, don't know what that means.
Yeah, right. And Stelio says the episode is more memorable than Measure of a Man. Yes, I'd agree.
And let's read some of the non-Super Chat scores.
And Stelio again asks, Intimate or Darkly, that easily beats this episode. What would you say?
Nope. It's equal.
Yeah, if you
for different reasons.
If you cut down Intimira into like a really good 60 minutes rather than hour and 20.
I just prefer the second part of Intimate Darkly, to be honest.
And yeah, the end bit, the first one. Yeah, I think Intimira is funner. This is not fun. It's not trying to be. Yes, non-super chats. Let me jump up.
Well, hold on. Olivia Julia's $10. 5 out of 5 for this Trekyards episode. Only 3 Foley classes for the final battle.
Oh.
You think it could have been better?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been, but it was, again, for the time, because how much money they spent this episode, there's a lot of new model shots. Like, more than most episodes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was twice normal episode budget. Genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised. Right, so, let's see. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, 9.5, 10, 9.9, 9, 9/9, 9.3, 10, 9, 10, 10, 10, 8, 10, 10, 10, 9.5, 8.5, 9.2, 9, 9.5, 10, 10, 9, 9.975, 9, 10, 10, top 5 TNG, at least top 10, 10, 10, and it's the first 10, someone said, of TNG. Yeah. Yeah.
Tenchi 2K7 puts in $5. In STO, you often face many foes. Battle should have been closer to that. Phasers and torpedoes blazing.
Yeah.
Although you got to think of the Romulan perspective. The ship is almost dead. They launch a volley of torpedoes. All of a sudden, it turns around. It comes back. It's all of a sudden facing the other way with like 72% shields.
Or less than that. I would say 0 shields. I think that's why the bridge crew die.
Well, no, but when it turns around.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah.
72% shields suddenly.
Torpedoes again.
Phasers and torpedoes. Like, can you imagine the Romulan sensors and the Romulans going, what the hell?
That's the quickest repair team ever. Less than a second. That's one thing that bugged me, though. They say we don't have torpedoes, but they have torpedoes. Which means if they did give them torpedoes, they broke their own rule again.
Yeah.
Even though I don't see them use torpedoes. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen that battle. the extended edition. Because I wouldn't. Yeah. Because honestly, I think this might have led to more respect. Because they probably took out a bit more of. I wouldn't be surprised if they took out a full Romulan Warbird extra because of this. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, this isn't a destination paradox. This is a brand new timeline.
And the Romulans are like, we need to make our ships bigger. Let's work on the Warbird. The Daredevils. Yeah.
Or is it predestination? Did Sealer always exist, or is this the only time? Is this the first time this happened? Because if this always happened, then Enterprise C, the only reason it made such an impact is because it was refitted. It was improved, and it was twice. Or was it? Which means it did exist, or to the timeline we go back to a new timeline, or did it always exist? I don't know. What would you say? Like, did it always happen, or did it happen for the first time?
It always happened.
Okay. Yeah.
It's built in the time. It's a time loop thing. It's there. It's a predestination paradox thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, this was a good one. Lots of great super chats. Lots of good viewers. So thank you guys for tuning in. We got a bunch of super chats at the end there. I think we made up what we asked for. So we ran a little bit long, but this was a good one. It was fun. We had a little skit. We had the uniforms. Hopefully you guys like that. We'll do that for some special episodes down the road as well.
Oh, we think we did for Measure of Man in our own way as well. Well, Paul asks, sorry, I just tuned in. What are we voting exactly? The score. Hence all the 10s, man. Hence all the 10s.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll do more reviews this week and some other sort of live. And do tune this weekend, one of the 2 days, much early. We'll give you at least a day's warning, but we'll probably do a video announcement promo. We are drunk live. We expect to get drunk. Expect to have fun. Expect to be in costumes. Who the hell knows what? It'll be fun.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. And until...
can you guarantee next time you'll be back to Prime Original Stuart?
We'll see. I like it here. I don't know.
You feel comfortable in the dark.
I do.
Oh.
You shouldn't.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.